The views shared on this podcast are personal opinions for conversation and insight only. Guest perspectives are their own and do not necessarily reflect the views of Kalaj Dame or this podcast. Nothing discussed here should be taken as legal, financial, medical, or professional advice. Always do your own research and make decisions based on your individual situation.
The gentrification in East Liberty is complete. Pittsburgh is the most gentrified city, second most gentrified. I'm sorry. As of 2026, Pittsburgh is the third most gentrified city in America. You are incentivized to diagnose a child with an IEP because they become profitable and you get more money per student for an IEP. Right? If Trump can create a sneaker, why do I have to stop wearing them?
That's the thing.
You know what I mean? Like, why do I have to stop wearing them? Like, what about this makes this immature? I tried to do blend in with Pittsburgh. 'Cause, you know, Pittsburgh has a hazing thing. Like, if you're not from Pittsburgh, they do not welcome you with open arms here.
Yeah.
In any sector.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter what it is,
Yeah.
right? Because it's so small here, right? It's so small.
We appreciate our own, even though we hate our own.
Absolutely.
But it's like...
They're still from Pittsburgh.
I'll disrespect my homie, but you outsider ain't gonna
Facts.
disrespect
Right, exactly. 1000%.
Yeah.
Yeah, 1000%. One Hood had nothing to do with the selection process for the Pittsburgh Hip Hop Hall of Fame. Thank you very much. Nor did we endorse it, pay for it, or co-sign it. We're just happy to be there.
We just shine a light where they hide the grave. It's the Kalaj Dame podcast.
I don't know everything about you.
Yeah, that's fine. I mean, that's what we're here for, yeah.
Yeah, I did some research, and this is in addition to what I knew already. So I'm gonna try to limp my way through an introduction here.
It's cool, yeah.
So I've always known you as Ajax.
Right, yeah.
And this stems back to me hearing your name ring out before I ever had an opportunity to meet you.
Have we ever met before?
We have.
When?
So...
You gotta forgive me.
We're
getting old. We're getting old. We're getting old.
Yeah. So it was two events. One was Ram Cow, the one where Black Sun won. And I want to say maybe it was Mr. Scrap, like he threw a hat at you or something. You was like mad.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Event. And then the other event, I went against Premise in Weapons of Mass Production.
Okay.
And I remember I used a beat where I sampled Golden Girls, and you hit me up like, yo, I want that track.
Yeah.
I can't remember what happened to it.
Me neither.
But
yeah, I'm gonna have to check my Hotmail or something. Yeah.
We definitely, that was the time.
Because I remember I recorded something for you.
That might have been it.
Yeah, that might have been it. Yeah. I'm gonna have to look into my archives. Yeah, for sure.
But I heard your name. From,
right.
You know, freestyling and everything else.
Yeah.
Freestyling, rapping. I think I might have heard maybe like one song. And then from there, I met Paradise Gray. I think I seen his name on Facebook or something like that. I hit him up. And this is when my mom lived on the north side, right next to Allegheny General Hospital.
Yeah, and Dice is still on East Ohio.
Yeah. So I went down East Ohio. He invited me to his crib and stuff, listened to some music. Matter of fact, this was before Jazeri X was like really popular.
Right, yeah.
And I listened to some of his tracks. My music at the time was like street level stuff. And I played some for him, and he's like, here, let me play you some.
Yeah, Dice is gonna keep it tall with you.
Yeah.
Dice is always gonna keep it funky with you. Yeah.
And I could tell right then and there, it was like, this ain't really my vibe, but it was cool. He was cool. So from there, that's really the intro to me understanding eventually One Hood came around.
Right, yeah.
I don't know the inner workings of it or anything, but I seen that you were like, in some capacity, one of the frontmen and attached to it, right?
Yeah, you could say that. Yeah, you could say that. So it's a great introduction point right here. So Dice introduced Jazeri and I around 2006, 2005, sometime like after I got out of high school, right? And Dice is being, you know, kind of this almost like Forrest Gump figure in hip hop. You know, like Paradise Grade, to give like respect to all the viewers who aren't familiar with Paradise. Paradise was the grand architect of the X-Clan that came out of the movement in the 80s and 90s, right? They were kind of like, I don't want to say they were, you know, the other version of Public Enemy, but if you would have to give them some type of descriptive, you know what I mean? They came out in that era, right? And X-Clan came out. And they were, you know, this is protected by the key, the red, the black, and the green, sissy, like, you know what I mean? Like they did, you know, to the East, my brother, and all them other things. So Dice was the architect, and Dice was just like this pioneer figure in hip hop. Netflix has done documentaries on him. He's one of the co-founders of the Universal Hip Hop Museum that's getting built in the Bronx. Dice has this archive of just photos because he photographed everything, right? Everything. Like he always had a camera with him. And back when they called him Tugboat, back in the days, like that was his old nickname. And Dice has photos of everybody and everything he's virtually ever done. So when the African American Smithsonian Museum opened up, they actually hit Dice up to get some of his photos for the hip hop museum, with the hip hop component of the Smithsonian. Right. So Dice was talent manager at the Latin Quarters in New York, and LL Cool J used to sleep on his couch. So he gave L his first show. He put on like Big Daddy Kane, like virtually every golden era MC is one person connected to Dice. Like Dice put them on their first big show, right? And there's a couple books that kind of like chronicle all the things that he's contributed to hip hop. And so fast forward, Dice ended up moving to Pittsburgh at some point in the 90s. I forget why. And then, so I happened to come across Dice when I was in and out of town recording at your mom's house. And, I forget how Dice and I actually linked up. But he was like, yo, if you're going to be down here later tonight, I got a guy coming through that I think you would like. I was like, all right, cool. So I was like, I'm upstairs recording, and of course the Shadow Lounge was downstairs, beneath your mom's house. And he introduced me to Jasiri. And he made it seem like, Jasiri was gonna come and like we was gonna battle in front of everybody. So I'm like, cause I'm waiting wild long. I'm like, where this nigga at? Like, I got shit to do. You know what I'm saying? He's like, yeah, nah, he gonna be here, like, relax. Like, I was like, yeah, I feel you, but like, is your man scared? Like, what's going on? You know what I mean? Like, I was on smoke, cause I was like, anybody could get it. And then he introduced me, and he was like, yeah, this is Jasiri X from the Nation of Islam. I was like, oh man, Islam alaikum, brother. Like, you know what I mean? I didn't even know that he rapped. I just thought he was introducing me to a brother from the Nation now at this point. So then me and Jasiri hit it off, and we just instantly clicked and just became really good friends. Right. So, I was going back and forth to Toronto, and Jasiri when I would stay in touch, and, we were working on things and just talking about ideas, just building, you know what I mean? He just became my brother. And then he was talking to me about the ideas that would eventually become One Hood. Right? Okay. So, and this is in 2006, and this year, inshallah, we're gonna celebrate our 20th anniversary in August. Wow. So, Jasiri and a lot of other concerned community members kind of formed this coalition of black men in Pittsburgh when there was a lot of community violence, when the political system looked a little different. And Jasiri was, because, he's Minister of the Nation at the time at Muhammad Mosque number 22 in Wilkinsburg. Right. He teamed up with all these other clergymen in Pittsburgh that were, pastors, a couple other Orthodox Muslim brothers, and just like concerned citizens. And what they used to do is they used to walk through Homewood, and in response to community violence. And that Paradise said that Pittsburgh is, Pittsburgh is a city of 90 neighborhoods. Pittsburgh suffers from hoodism, and we need to create one hood, and that's where the name One Hood came from. And Will Figgins, DJ Rampage, who was a graphic designer, producer, DJ. Yeah. Come on, you know them ones. Yeah. He actually created the One Hood logo and gave it to us for free, and that's the One Hood logo you see. So that's our biggest asset that we've ever gotten, was the One Hood logo for free. Wow. So, and it was Dice's idea to make the two slits in the hood look like the Steelers logo. Okay. So that was his brainchild. So we, from there, so One Hood officially coalesced in 2006. Kind of became citywide known in 2008. Now, this is all before I'm actually living in the city, of course. This predates my permanent arrival in Pittsburgh by 5 years. Okay. And then really kind of began moving in 2012. right? So, but 26 is the incorporation date of One Hood, and it went from just like a collection of concerned citizens to like a coalition, and then an organization, a nonprofit, and then a 501c4, which we have today. So fast forward to that, where we are at the intersection of arts, activism. I hate the word activism. Cultural organizing.
Okay.
Education, and everything is done through the lens of hip hop. And we've been fortunate to really shift the direction of politics in the state of Pennsylvania over the last 2 election cycles. We've done a lot of things in terms of statewide, national, and local elections. We've been involved with it from the very top to the presidency, all the way down to city council. In fact, Kahari Mosley, one of the other founding members of One Hood, became our political director, and now he's city council for District 9 in Pittsburgh. Yeah, so like we have a saying, you come to Pittsburgh, One Hood, we like the government, and we mean that shit. Like we got, we've etched out this moment of transformative politics in Pennsylvania, right, where we were kind of leading the charge on reshaping what it meant to be a progressive Black or just a progressive politician or voter. At this precipice that came after COVID and everything. So us and a lot of other organizers in the state really started shaking up our local elections and taking charge in a way that, that influenced the rest of the country. The country started turning to Pennsylvania because not only are we a battleground state, but because typically Pittsburgh and Philadelphia are really the only blue areas, with areas like a purple area. Right. Everything else in the middle is red. Right. And we were able to turn an entire state. So it was like, how did they do this from this ground level? So out of these organizings that we did with all these other wonderful people on road that are all concerned, we got Mayor Gainey elected as the first Black mayor in the history of Pittsburgh. Summer Lee elected into Congress as the first Black woman ever in the history of Congress. We got our slate of 8, which was five progressive judges, 3 of which were Black women. We changed city council. Even though city council stayed hostile against Ed, we were able to like kind of get things up and moving. And then of course all of this came as a vehicle because Antoine Rose II was murdered in 2018. Right. And we reached out to his mom to just kind of insulate her because, of course the press and everything that was on top of this. Right. And all of the attention that Antoine, his murder got, we were next to Miss Michelle, his mom. And while we were doing our best to protect her and insulate her, she brought us into a lot of these spaces where she was like, I don't know how to navigate these spaces. I'm not no activist. I'm not a politician. Right. Like, I don't like, you know what I mean? I know I lost my son. And I'm a concerned person of the state of like how all this shapes up. So that is really what was like what catapulted us to be in the position we're in today. Well, yeah, so like a lot of, like One Hood was around since 2006. We got national attention in 2018 and then really kind of like blew up in 2020.
Wow.
Yeah, and that's like a microwave version. Yeah, that's like really like an elevator pitch. It's not an elevator pitch.
I definitely want to hear more about that. Let's dive first. Dive into you.
Pause, that was crazy. That's crazy.
We're in Pittsburgh.
This nigga said, diving is crazy.
Look, no homo.
Oh my God.
You know what I'm talking about.
Oh my day.
Background, your history.
Yeah.
So, just for the people that don't know you, right?
Yeah.
First, let's start with the hip hop side. So. And me listening to your music, I mean, I've always known you to be a great battle rapper.
Right, yeah.
And
which is crazy, because I was just watching your interview with Real Deal and how battling has changed since I stopped battling.
Yeah.
To where he began battling. You know what I mean? Like, yeah, but go ahead, yeah.
Yeah, I used to be a battle rapper, like at some point in time. Matter of fact, I told this story in an interview.
Yeah.
Some point in time, like in my teen years and shit like that. But fast forward past that, I don't know, I just kind of pushed into the business commercial side of music and stuff like that, but kept my ear to the streets, right?
Yeah.
Your name always rang out. And then recently you sent me your project that you was working on. I had a chance to listen to it and I'm like, this is ill. Like this is dope as hell.
Yeah.
Lyrically. What? How did you get your start? But what I really want to know is, like, at what point in time did you recognize, like, this, like, I am dope and this is what I want to do?
Oh man, immediately. So when I first started rapping, like seriously, it was like grade 7, grade 8, sometime around
And
that
this
time
is
period.
Toronto?
Yeah, between Toronto and because let's set the table.
Yeah.
All right, so born in Toronto, right?
Wait, before you go there. So is this the explanation for your accent?
Yes.
Because-
Yeah, you'll get everything. Yeah,
Okay.
you'll get all the knowledge. All right, so listen. So I was born in Toronto, stayed there for like 6 years. My parents split up. We moved from, I ended up moving with my mom, right? My mom was a political asylum seeker from Lebanon, and my dad was a Black Panther from Montreal. So my parents split up. My dad had already been in Pittsburgh for a while. He came here in the 70s when the mills were popping and everything, you know what I mean? Pittsburgh had a strong Black Panther chapter, so my dad was involved in that. So that explains the arrival of me in Pittsburgh, so to speak, and like why I'm still here.
Right.
So my mom moved us to Miami because that's where her parents live. So we moved from Toronto to Miami. I came to Pittsburgh in like 1995, actually Beaver County, just north of Pittsburgh, right, where my dad was living. I stayed there so 1995 was the OJ trial, so that was grade 5 for me. And
Damn.
Yeah. So grade 5 for me, and then I stayed there till grade 8.
Okay.
And then I moved to New York City.
Okay.
Yeah, so I moved to New York, and then I stayed there till the end of high school, and then bounced. Yeah, in between there, in 1996, I was wilding out school. My parents sent me to London for a year
That's where I
yeah,
hear
my
it
parents sent me to London for a year to calm down. That made me worse, and then I ended up moving to London right after I met Jasiri. Okay. I stayed in London for like 5 years. Yeah, so I was bouncing between Toronto and London for a long time. And then 2012, I moved back to Pittsburgh.
That is crazy, because I hear all of that.
Yeah, I moved. Yeah, it's transient. It's funny because like my man just came in from Montreal this weekend, right? And we were talking and everything, and we had to do this thing at CMU, so he pulled up with me. And while we were talking in between, like we're talking in French, and you know what I mean? So it was like, yeah, so it was, but yeah, so my accent be moving around. So anyway, rap now.
Yeah.
So so I first started taking it serious in like grade 7, grade 8, right? And I had an English teacher, and I've told the story before. Like I had this English teacher, Miss Byers, who had heard me rapping one day, and she was like, yo, like you use a lot of vulgarity in your rhymes, and she was like the super cool teacher. So I was like, oh man, Miss Byers, I'm sorry you had to hear that. And she was like, nah, I really don't care. Like she opened up her closet door, and she had this poster of DMX in there. It's dark and hell is hot.
Right.
And she was like, I love this man. And she's like an old white lady whose husband is a preacher.
Wow.
So she was like, but she was like, DMX brings the gospel, right? So I was like, oh, so Miss Byers is like really tapped in. Like she's super tapped in. So I was like, okay. So what she would do is she would give me a list of vocabulary words every Monday.
Wow.
And then on Friday, I would have to make a rap in front of the class, or perform a rap in front of the class with all the vocabulary words that she gave me, right? And so the thing about this that made it exceptionally, it made it super interesting is because English isn't my first language. So by the time I was in grade 4, I could speak 3 languages. So I spoke.
What is your first language?
Arabic.
Okay.
Yeah, Arabic's my first language. I could speak Spanish. So when I moved to Miami, it was a Spanish immersion school. So I learned English and Spanish simultaneously. Okay. I could speak a little French, Arabic, some Japanese. Wow. So yeah, so I was able. So by the time I was in grade 4, I had this chip on my shoulder because I was like, I just learned how to speak English fluently, and I was like, I'm smarter than all my teachers because I can talk in languages you can't. But I couldn't understand why I was smarter than my teacher, so I had like this terrible chip on my shoulder, right? So anyway, I started rapping, and Miss Byers was like, yeah, like I want you to know, like you're like these words are like collegiate level. You know, you're really doing this. So she taught me about like pentameter, different literary devices, things like that I would start putting in my rhymes. And then I was able to just start freestyling it, like just without writing, I got really good at freestyling. And then I was like, oh, I'm really good at this. Like I'm really good at this. Like I'm athletic and I'm good at rap. Like these are two things that I know I'm really good at. Yeah. So that was kind of like what laid the foundation for me to start rapping seriously. And I wanted to be a singer first. And then when I realized how much I could say with rap, I was like, oh man, you look at like an R&B song, right? Like, yeah, it's the same bar format, but they're not saying that much as a rap record is. Rap, you got 16 bars of words.
Right.
R&B, you got like 8 bars of words, and the rest of it's like harmony and, you know, melody and instrumentation.
Yeah.
So I was like, oh, I was like, let me rap. You know what I mean? Like, let me, and then my first real influence was, why did I just blank on this? Gordon Parks, the photographer. Yeah. I wanted to rap like he took photos. So yeah, I was like, this is something that's like, or Ed Gordon, I'm sorry. Yeah, Gordon Parks and Ed Gordon, because Ed Gordon was on 60 Minutes. But yeah. So, but Gordon Parks was a photographer, and I was like how he takes photos, I want to rap like. I want to be able to like be as cerebral and as encompassing of everything I see, and be able to put that in rhymes. You know what I mean?
Wow.
So I started rapping, and I started like, you know, getting known for being a good battler, because I was battling everybody, and this is at the time when like the Clue tapes was popping, you know.
Was that like late 90s?
Yeah, late 90s, you know what I mean? So I'm like 13, 14, Clue tapes is popping, you know, the Locks has just left Bad Boy. You know, I'm aging myself to put all that in perspective. But yeah, so like this is what I wanted to do. You know what I mean? Like this is what I wanted to do. And it started to take hold like really fast. So I would do like a couple bullshit things here and there, like some showcases and everything moving around. And then it really hit was when I had I had moved to New York at this point. I was like 14, right? Nelly's album came out, Country Grammar.
Okay.
Remember? Yeah. Remember when that hit that shit was crazy.
It was huge,
Country Grammar was crazy. So this shorty I was messing with, she worked at Foot Locker in like the Queens Coliseum, right? And Nelly was on tour, and she was like, she hit me up. I had like, you know, I was in the streets and everything. She got my two-way and everything. She's like, yo, Nelly's here. Why don't you come down to the Coliseum and like, you know, rhyme for him? He might, you know, remember we used to think you meet somebody, you rhyme for them, they gonna put you on.
That was
right. That was the thing, right? Yeah. And I might have my timeline messed up a little bit because the St. Lunatics was with him, but I don't think they dropped their album yet. I don't think they dropped their album yet.
Yeah, he was first.
Yeah, but I'm trying to think the time. But anyway, so I rhyme for Nelly. Like, I actually get down, I get the Foot Locker, I rhyme for him, everything. And he was like, yo, I'm not gonna lie to you, like, you're nice. And he's in New York, so he knew Courtney B. And Courtney B was Mace's manager, right? So he was like, check this out. I can't do nothing for you. You got talent, you're young, you'll figure this shit out. Here's the two-way. So he gave me somebody's number. I'm not gonna say his name. He's super, like, he's high level. But so I hit him up, and I was like, yo, Nelly gave me your number. He's like, I don't give a fuck who gave you my number. Who is this? Right? And I was like, oh, I'm hurt. You know what I mean? I was like, well, fuck you, nigga. Like, you know what I mean? Like on my little two-way, like Twitter fingers and everything, right? And he was like, he hit me back later that night, and he was like, yo, you got a demo? I was like, nah. He was like, yeah. He's like, you know, what are we doing? You wasting my time. Yeah. So I went and cut a demo. And I had this demo, and it was like kind of floating around, and it was like, everybody was like, yo, you use too many words, but you nice. You use way too many words, but you nice. We got to figure out how to like hone this. Yeah. You know what I mean? And like not run on sentence rap. We need you to get tight. Yeah. Right. You know what I mean? So I was like, okay. So I just started listening to everybody that they were telling me I would sound like. And I was like, how can I be better than these guys? Okay. Right. And then so I learned, like I said, so then I started getting like, now we're at 15. Now I'm 15 years old. A friend of mine from back home in Toronto was a singer. And he was working with Genuine. And at this time, like the Toronto music scene was really starting to burgeon. Right. He is doing stuff with Genuine and everything. He asked me, he's like, yo, man, you wanna like start writing some records this summer? Cause I would still go home to Toronto. And I was like, yeah, let's write some records. And it looked like, you know, he was working with Timbaland and Genuine, and I forget who else he was working with, but we had a singer in Toronto called Glenn Lewis. And Glenn Lewis, he was like our first big R&B national star that crossed over to the States. So he was like, yeah, I'm trying to do some stuff with Glenn Lewis. I was like, okay, cool. So we wrote this record, and he was like, yo, I want to like really teach you how to write hooks and sing better. I was like, yeah, like, absolutely. This is what the fuck I want to do. You know what I mean?
Right.
So we're writing, we're workshopping things together and everything. Long story short, he was like, yo, I got to get this placement for this group. Can you help me write this record? I'm like, yeah. So I went back, and I think school was starting, and I was in study hall, and I ended up writing this fucking heartbreak song about my 15-year-old girlfriend. You know what I mean? Just like being, you know, a young kid or whatever, and writing it in study hall in like 30 minutes. And remember how we used to have the little microphones on a computer? Like yeah, right. So I just sent it to him on like MSN Messenger.
Okay.
And he was like, when can you come back to Toronto? I was like, oh, let's do it. So we went, we like laid this reference track, this demo down, and we ended up selling this record to this up and coming group. And the next thing I know, that record went 23 on the Billboard charts, on the R&B charts. Yeah. So I was like, oh, we're cooking. So we started getting money. So then it's like that was really introduced me to the music industry.
Right.
So by the time I was 15, I was like, oh, I'm in. Yeah. You know what I mean? I started making connections and everything, and just like being in New York at the time, and you know, kind of moving around to different cities and watching things happen. Like I was just constantly rubbing shoulders with the right people, and that just put me in a lot of places to be in success. But it also got me in a lot of fucking trouble because I was in the streets heavy.
So wait. I'm trying to connect these dots.
Yeah.
And
you asked about music, so we went music first.
I did.
Yeah.
And so I definitely fumbled the introduction. I completely left out
Fix it in post.
the martial arts.
Yeah, we'll fix it in post.
black
Yeah.
belt.
Yeah.
And I don't know exactly what style it is.
So I got 3 black belts. I started training in 91.
Okay.
Yeah, so I have a 3rd-degree black belt in Shotokan,
Okay.
1st-degree black belt in Taekwondo, and a black belt, what you consider a black belt in Silat, Tiger-style Silat.
Okay.
Yeah.
Through all this music stuff and
Yeah.
getting in trouble in the streets, where does martial arts fit in?
So when I was in kindergarten, I got beat up really bad, and you know, Turtles was hot, G.I. Joe was hot. I think Power Rangers was just about to come out. You know, all the shit we grew up with, right?
Yeah.
I was like, my mom seen me. I got masked up really bad at school, like really, really bad. And my mom was like, all right, I'm gonna get you in karate lessons for your birthday. So put me in karate lessons, and that was it. I literally never stopped. And martial arts just became as natural to me as everything else. And like to this day, like I practice twice a day, every single day for almost 36 years now.
I seen one of your videos.
Yeah.
I seen you either break or break in half a coconut with your bare hands.
Yeah.
And I seen that. Matter of fact, I messaged you afterwards. I'm
Yeah.
like, yo, how much to train with you? Like, what's going on?
Yeah.
I don't know if you remember, but I'm like, man, I'm out of shape. This dude breaking coconuts.
Yeah.
Like, what's good?
So I had like, as I get older, I realize that like I've had a pretty cool fucking life. You know what I mean? Despite all the ups and downs, right? But you know, Allahu Alim, like God is the best knower. So when I started getting into martial arts, it was just a response to bullying, virtually like any other kid that gets into martial arts.
Right.
My dad was a hard man. You know what I mean? Both of my parents were abusive in their own, you know, they had their own demons, right? My mom's not here anymore, so I'm not gonna say anything because she can't defend herself, but they both had substance abuse issues. And, you know, it was the 90s, like 80s and 90s, like we grew up in rough areas, you know what I mean? Like all of us, you know, we all know them ones, you know what I mean? So I started just taking the martial arts, and I was angry because my home life was difficult, my environment was difficult, you know, kind of being different was difficult, as any you can relate to. And martial arts was just like my third space, as they call them nowadays, right? And as I was moving in and out of different cities and countries, I would always go to martial arts schools that were accessible to me.
Okay.
And I was very fortunate at this time to also go to school with a lot of guys who became pro athletes. And my dad, one thing about my dad was, you know, my dad was about 2 things. Knowledge. Like, you know, he was like, my dad would always tell me, the white man can take anything he wants from you except for what you know. Right? And then baseball. My dad was a crazy baseball coach dad. You know what I mean? Like obsessive. So here's where things get really interesting. I'm gonna bridge everything together for you, but I'm just trying to, we got time, so I'm gonna lay the table. So I have 2 names, right? Born in Canada. On my Canadian documents, it says Farooq Al Said. That's my mom's family name.
Okay.
my American birth certificate because my dad was a monster baseball fan. And when I was born, the United States was invading Lebanon, where my mom was from. And my dad wanted us to be able to get through the borders with no issues, right? And Gulf War was heating up at that time and, all the other things.
Right.
So my dad gave me an American name on my American birth certificate. And it said Aaron Maurice Johnson.
Okay.
After Hank Aaron. So yeah. So
Gotcha.
yeah. So if you look at like my ID, my passports and everything, they all say Farooq. Like I had to get them all.
You don't never use it.
No, people that don't know me, if you went to school with me like as a youth, they might like say that, and I don't respond to it. Like my dad still calls me Aaron. I fucking hate it, but like my mom would call me Farooq, my dad would call me Aaron. What do you want me to say? You know what I mean? So
Crazy. People don't call you that, just fucking with you, just like out of.
Someone did one day. Me and Jasiri were out, and I didn't know who the person was, and I was like, nigga, I don't know you. Like me and Jasiri was like, he was like, we was at the it was when Common was here at the Roxy-In. Yeah, because Jasiri opened up for Common.
Okay.
And we was backstage kicking it with him and everything, and then we was leaving the backstage going to the side, and this man was like, yo, and I was like, and Jasiri stopped. And he was like, don't talk to my man like that. And I was like, nigga, I don't know you. He was like, yeah, I know your brother. I'm like, that don't mean you know me. And just kept it moving. You know what I mean? Like, yeah, to me, that's disrespectful. Like, yeah, that's disrespectful. So my dad drilled baseball on us heavy. So I got scouted to play pro baseball. I was gonna play pro baseball, and then we're getting into this now. Yeah. So we'll stop right here. So while moving and doing martial arts and everything, I was super active in the streets. My violent streak as a younger ended up manifesting in like a lot of unhealthy ways and went from being kind of dealing with an abusive domestic situation, home life situation, to getting in fights in school, to getting fights outside of school, getting guns, getting, things like that. We started moving into those spaces. When I was 14, a friend of mine, allegedly, even though he's still locked up, Freedom Mandem, killed a police officer.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, he killed a cop. So we were 14, I was 14, he was 15. He killed a cop. And we were super active at this, like we were outside, you know what I mean? We was outside. And it was just the turn of the new millennium, you know what I mean? Towers is about to fall, we was outside just young wild niggas doing young wild nigga shit, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I'm figuring out whether I'm a rap, whether I'm a, fight full time, because boxing and everything was also involved, and I started boxing a little later, or play baseball. And I was doing all of them, but still just outside fucking up in the streets, just still doing wild shit. And I'm like, God must have a plan for me because I'm not getting caught. Little arrest here and there, I got arrested here and there, matched up by the police, nicked here, there for something, always let go, right? Nothing crazy. Fast forward to where it looks like it's gonna be like the culminating point of my life was this. We was gonna rob this guy, right? Stick up, home invasion type thing, you know what I mean? He ended up, I don't know how, he ended up getting shot 3 times. No idea how that happened, right? I ended up going to jail for it. So, baseball, gone.
Yeah.
Basketball, they might let you rock with that. Football, they might let you rock with that. You know what I mean?
Baseball.
Not baseball. Yeah. So baseball was gone. Fortunately, so I'm looking at an attempted murder charge. At 17, I turned 18 in solitary confinement. So I spent my whole senior year in jail.
Wow.
So I was allowed to do my schoolwork though. So I was able to graduate. At this point, I had wrote that record that went up, started to make connections, like all my niggas is in, different places.
Right.
My CO is my boxing coach. So he's taking care, So we're training on the inside, pause.
Like
in jail. My CO.
Was he your boxing coach before you went to jail? Or?
Yeah. Yeah. So he knew me, you know what I mean? So yeah. So he was like, yo, we're gonna get you right. You know what I mean? You ain't got nothing but time in here to do your books, and then we'll run drills and everything. And so while I'm in the cell, the seg unit, he's peeking through like the little hole, like, yo, clean your jab up. Like throw 100 jabs, I'll be back. Doing his rounds. Throw 100 more jabs on the other side, right? And so just doing this. I'm doing push-ups and everything. I'm training in jail, like, you know what I mean? So, but my shit ain't no different than what anybody else is in jail doing. You know what I mean? Like everybody's doing the same shit.
Right.
So Police end up tampering with my evidence and I walk on attempted murder. Can walk scot-free. Attempted murder. Looking at 35 years. I'll still be in jail. I'll be getting out of jail this year.
Damn.
Yeah, I'll be getting out of jail. My release date was gonna be this October of 26.
God was with you in that.
Man, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala was with me, man. Like, you know what I mean? So, yeah, so I was looking at some real time. And I was fortunate as soon as I graduated high school, there was a lot of things happening around me. A lot of my friends were getting killed. My best friend got killed as soon as we graduated. And he got shot in the head. And I went on tour. I was an opening act for the Lloyd Banks and Junior Hunger for More and Beg for Mercy tour for 13 days.
Wow.
And that's what kind of launched me kind of into a lot of people's recognition and everything like that. So I think our first tour date was like Bethany College or something like that. And then, so I came back to, I think like 5 or 6 of my friends died while I was on tour. It was just like crazy, like niggas is getting killed all over the place, you know? And had a conversation with my dad, and I spoke about this on this other program. I was having a conversation with my dad, and my dad was like, I'm ready for you to die. Like, I've already made peace with your lifestyle, like, you know what I mean? So he was expecting like, yeah, you ain't gonna live much longer, because he had sat down next to me on the porch, and he was like, how's it?
Mentally prepared himself.
Yeah, he was like, how's it feel that all your friends are dead? He's like, he just turned 18. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And he was like, this is what you wanted.
As a father, I understand that.
Yeah, he was like, this is what you wanted, right?
Yeah.
He's like, now everybody's dead, now what? You the only one left. How you feel?
Yeah.
And I'm not trying to hear him at that point. You know what I mean? I'm like, get the fuck out my face, nigga. Like, yo, you over here like, you know what I mean? I'm like, you know what I mean? It was like, so my dad and I were always adversarial.
Right.
Always. So I made the conscious decision to leave.
Okay.
Yeah, so, I bounced, I moved to London. And I stayed in London for as long as I possibly could, bouncing between London and Toronto, doing music, and then we can kind of go from there. So that's your...
You got family in London?
No. I had a cousin, but like we're not really close, so.
Is it difficult, like, to just pick up and travel to London? Like, how'd that work?
Yeah, so the thing is dope about London and being Canadian is like, we still have the same governing body, so to speak. We still have we're a king now, King Charles,
right?
Since the Queen's dead. A lot of our friends, and like in the islands, you know what I mean? Like, if you're Jamaican, you probably went 3 places when you left the island. Yeah, New York, London, or Toronto. So I was like, oh yeah, my man got a cousin in Brixton. He's gonna be here in like 2 weeks. Right. So that's just really what it was. It's just like all my friends in Toronto had friends that were in London. So it was just that easy. It was like, hey, I'm gonna get on a plane, go over here, and just kind of make things work, innit? And then just like we started building, and I started learning brothers over there, and I stayed in Brixton. In Brixton for a long time. And I was in Plaistow on East for a little bit, and in Brixton, like Myersfield, right off Brixton Road, Myersfield, Angeltown, south of the O2. So yeah, like, you know what I mean? I was in London back and forth, watching a lot of great things happen, and I was just like, at that point, just boom, bouncing the 3 different cities, like the 3 biggest cities in the world, London, Toronto, and New York, just like my own triangle of travel.
That's crazy.
Yeah, just moving in and out, yeah. So that kind of sets the stage of, I did the introduction for you. But
I'll take it.
Yeah. So that's kind of like, that was like the first 20 years of my life, more or less, with some of the, other things left out.
Yeah, I hear a common theme in a lot of what you said and what you explained.
Yeah.
Discipline.
Yeah.
A lot of discipline. Does that come from like how your dad was such a stickler with baseball? Or?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. My dad was, how we get older and we realize how much like our parents we are?
Yeah.
Yeah. And one thing that I did, because there was a point in my life when I hated my father, right? I didn't want to do anything that's going to make me like him, right? Outside of the things that I cared for.
Right.
Learning, the regime aspect of like competition was always like something I really liked. Like I love competing. Like, you know what I mean? I'll compete in anything. But my dad was one of those dads where it's like, yo, I told you to clean the table not 2 seconds ago, now. Like, it's now. You know what I mean? And my dad and I are like the same color, but my dad had this look we used to make fun. You remember Conan the Barbarian?
Yeah.
Where Arnold and James Earl Jones? Yeah. My dad kind of looked like James Earl Jones, and he has the same stare Tulsa Doom did before he cut that girl's head off. And my dad would hit you with this stare, and it was like, oh man, like, yeah. Rockford mean business. Like Rockford about to kill one of us, so we gonna have to move. Yeah. So my dad instilled that on me. If you want to do anything, do it right. Yeah. Whatever it is, do it right. So that was yeah.
I hope I instilled that in at least one of my kids. I call myself giving them that look.
Yeah. How many children you got?
6.
Oh man.
8 total with my wife, 6 of my own.
God bless you, man. Cheers. Man. Yeah. Yo.
I appreciate it.
God bless you, man. Yeah. Wow. 8 is crazy.
You have any?
None.
None?
Nigga, pull-out game is trash. Ain't even trying.
Hey, I ain't trying.
Listen, I shoot the club up personally, but like, we can talk about it later. But yeah, I'll tell you I don't have any. But yeah, we'll get that later. Yeah.
That's wild.
Yeah.
So, going on tour, the G-Unit thing. How does that bring you back to local Pittsburgh hip hop?
Okay, so my brother and sister are here. My dad was here, my mom was here, right? So they stayed about an hour north of the city. And like I would just come and check in on them at times, you know? So I ended up setting up shop in Toronto and coming down here because our hip hop scene in Toronto was not traditional.
And that was, like when I seen you at the Ram Cow.
Yeah, I wasn't living here.
You were living in Toronto?
I was living in Toronto. Yeah, I was living in Toronto.
Okay.
So I'm from Scarborough, and I was living back in Scarborough until I moved to the west. But I honestly do not remember when it was or what it was that got me into Pittsburgh. Right, I don't recall. I've been thinking about this for a couple months now, and I just can't pinpoint it.
Toronto, London, like what the hell would make you?
Like I said, like my parents, like my nuclear family was here.
Okay.
You know what I mean? So even though I left home at 14, I kept in contact with my siblings.
Right.
Right. I ended up being back here for one reason or another, and I remember dealing with labels. I had got signed in 06.
Okay.
I signed to a major label in 06. And I remember one of the biggest pushbacks was they viewed incorrectly. This still frustrates me today when I talk to people in the industry. They view Cardinal Fischel as a failure. And
why?
Because he didn't pop in America like they wanted him to. And there's a whole discourse we can have around that. I did this, me and Jasiri got into a huge argument that went like fake viral about Canadian hip hop. But program directors refused to play Cardinal because of the patois and the Toronto slang and the Jamaican slang. And they thought that he sounded too much like Ludacris, who happened to pop at the same time.
That's crazy.
Yeah, so American program directors was like, why would we play a Canadian artist that sounds like an American artist when we have an American artist? They didn't understand, right? So essentially this label was telling me, yo, you can't be from Toronto. We can't market you as a Toronto artist. Like, we just can't. So.
And this is pre-Drake, so obviously.
Yeah, years before Drake.
Yeah.
Actually, we're the same age, so it's like, large up, whatever. But before Drake, and they were like, yeah, like, what else you got for us? And I was like, well, I used to live in New York. And they was like, do you live there now? I was like, not really. And they was like, well, where do you go a lot? And I was like, Pittsburgh. And they was like, Pittsburgh?
Was this pre-Wiz?
Yes. Yeah. So they were like,
oh yeah, 06, yeah.
Yeah, they was like, yeah, no. So I was like, well, I know a lot of people in Pittsburgh, right? Like in MySpace and everything, and you know, all those things that happened, and I met Jasiri at this point, and I started like seeing some of the local shows. And they were like, well, it's America. You give it a shot. So I've only said this to one other person. So I started rapping and doing things, And I always had an affinity, even though like politically I shit on Pittsburgh a lot because of just like the white supremacy here. But as far as the Black history, it's magnificent.
Right.
I tried to do like blend in with Pittsburgh. 'Cause, Pittsburgh has a hazing thing. Like if you're not from Pittsburgh, they do not welcome you with open arms here.
Yeah.
In any sector.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter what it is,
Yeah.
right? Because it's so small here, right? It's so small.
We appreciate our own, even though we hate our own.
Absolutely.
But it's like
They're still from Pittsburgh.
I'll disrespect my homie, but you outsider ain't gonna
Facts.
disrespect
Right, exactly. 1,000%. Yeah, 1,000%. So, like I even try to use like a Pittsburgh accent in some of my raps. I could never get it. Could never get it right.
That's funny.
Yeah, but I was trying. Like I was trying to fit in with you niggas. Right? I was really trying. And it gave me a whole chip on my shoulder when niggas wouldn't. And I was like, I'm so much better than you though. And I actually have accolades. You're still doing local shit. I got a record deal. I'm on MTV. What the fuck are you doing?
They don't care.
Yeah, right. I used to get so upset at it, man. I used to get so angry. And then I was tight. And I was like, yeah, it's like, so that built up I would say like the persona that everybody knew about me in Pittsburgh, just being this arrogant,
tough guy.
Yeah, and I was like, no, like this isn't an act. Like, this is really me. So that was kind of how I remember being in Pittsburgh was just like points of contact were here, and it was always a quick flight from Toronto to New York.
And just a little side note.
Yeah.
Me being a native Pittsburgher.
Yeah.
When I moved away to Atlanta in 2003 and came back like after working with celebrities in the industry and stuff, I had the same exact feeling.
Yeah.
Of like I was accepted, of course, because I was a Pittsburgher.
Right, yeah.
But at the same time.
And you never lost your accent.
Exactly. But I'm like, I got all these accolades. Like, y'all need to have a little bit more respect for me. And it was definitely frustrating.
That we can talk about this later with One Hood, but that worked in against us at some point because none of us are from Pittsburgh. Jasiri's from Chicago. Miracle, who just left, she's from Atlanta. Me. So like the core three, none of us were from Pittsburgh.
Right.
And that used to piss people. It still pisses people off.
I believe it.
Yeah. I mean, but we'll get to that later. So I ended up in Pittsburgh and then just started doing shows and everything, and then dotting things here and there. Like I would do I did like a show with Exhibit in San Diego, like 2 shows. I met Carrie Hilson before she kind of blew up, and I'm doing like these opening acts in like a lot of these different cities, you know what I mean? Because of like who I was close proximity to. And of course doing like the Toronto, moving to Toronto, moving in like different areas. And Pittsburgh ended up just being like really convenient and very cheap.
Yeah, okay.
Super affordable at the time in those early aughts, you know what I mean? Like Pittsburgh was very affordable. So that was really like a determining factor that kept me close to here. And also, it was what I took. I hate when people say this, but I'm gonna use this because it's the only metaphor that's coming to me. Not even a metaphor. You know how when biracial people be like, "Oh, I'm too black for my black family and too white," or whatever, right?
Yeah.
I hate that tragic mulatto bullshit. I hate light-skinned niggas. I hate all them niggas. But I was too American for my Canadian friends.
Okay.
Yeah, I was too American, right? And this is at the time when Toronto was really fighting to break out of we're just at a bigger city in America. You know what I mean? Like we're the New York of the North. There was still a lot of men on the Toronto DVDs, like street DVDs, doing like New York style DVD hip hop, but with Toronto slang. And they were breaking into that, but like I was like 100% American to them.
Which is crazy. Like being like from Pittsburgh, America, just thinking about Toronto to me is just like a bunch of dudes in fucking golf shirts speaking French. Like
that's Quebec. Yeah, that's a whole different province. So I always tell people, if you go to Toronto, or if you go to Canada, if you want to experience a different country, do not go to Toronto. Toronto is New York City for all intents and purposes.
Got it.
Right? Toronto does it have its own cultural identity? Yes, it's the most multicultural city in the world next to Sao Paulo, Brazil. Right? It's like 206 recognized cultures and languages. right? So you can, Toronto is really a world in a city.
Right.
Toronto is in a different country. It is Canada, different money and governance system and all those other things, but it does not feel dissimilar to New York or London, right? It does not feel dissimilar. Fast-paced.
Like hoods, ghettos, all that.
Everything, right? It's no different. It functions the same. Like you could, if everybody was not speaking, and you were just driving through and just Toronto and you didn't see any identifiable things that were intrinsically Canadian, you would think you were in New York.
Ah, okay.
Skyscrapers, urban sprawl, all those things, right? But if you want to experience a different country, you go Quebec, Montreal, Quebec City, right? You're in a different country. You where your golf shirts and French-speaking people are. Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Dig it.
Yeah. And that's where my dad's from. My dad's from Montreal. Okay. So yeah. But Montreal also had a very interesting role in civil rights. Jackie Robinson got his MLB debut in Montreal.
Okay.
Yeah. So in fact, I believe it was McGill University, black students locked themselves in a room demanding civil rights on campus. So yeah, Montreal is a very interesting city. Quebec is very interesting Canadian history. But yeah, so I always tell people though, that was just a segue. If you want to experience a different country, go Montreal, go to Quebec, and you will experience Canada in a different way. Yeah.
Which one is across the bridge from Detroit?
That's London, Ontario.
Okay.
Yeah. So that's like, you know how there's 50 states? Yeah. We have provinces and territories. So Ontario is a province where the cities are.
Okay.
Yeah.
So my wife is from Detroit.
Oh, okay, yeah. I love Detroit.
Yeah, Detroit, man.
I love Detroit, man.
There's so much.
Detroit and Pittsburgh are very similar.
We'll get into
that. Yeah, very similar, yeah.
We can kind of dig into it now a little bit. So the first time I ever been to Detroit, I was visiting my wife. This was before we were married. She took me to a Myers.
Yeah.
And it was in, I forgot the name of it, Forest something? Starts with an F, something Hills. Farmington Hills.
Okay, yeah.
Middle class black, right? And in the parking lot, I'm looking around and I see nothing but 30K and up vehicles.
Right, yeah.
Mostly new. You know, you got your BMW.
You got, because they're all built there.
Right.
Yeah.
I go into Meijer and there's nothing but black people. Not a white person in sight.
Right.
But there's nothing hood or ghetto about it at all.
Right.
It's all middle class, professional looking black people.
Right.
Instantly, I got culture shock.
Yeah. Because Pittsburgh doesn't have a middle class black neighborhood.
At all.
Yeah, not at all.
And when I tried to articulate this to people, that we're probably dealing with some level of trauma. Like if you've grown up here and haven't been anywhere else, like we view black people as the problem simply because, and I know there's other things that cause it, but this is all we see. Like to be black in Pittsburgh for the most part, if you were born and raised here, is like you're bad, you're ghetto. That's automatically what you're associated with. And it was a breath of fresh air to see a whole environment of
regular black
positive, professional, regular black people.
Right.
And for a moment, I was surrounded and I didn't feel the need to have to watch over my shoulder all the time. Like there's a certain level of...
So nobody asked you what's on 7 Mile and Gratiot? Did you see that video?
No.
Oh, okay, never mind. Yeah.
No.
Yeah. You have to. We'll get about it offline. Yeah.
But yeah, it's a certain amount of, and I don't know if maybe this is what comes with Pittsburgh, like the crabs in a pail concept or whatever, but just a certain level of protect yourself from the people around you because they out to get you just as much as everybody else.
Yeah.
So anywhere you go, you know, you're looking over your shoulder and everything. And I don't know, I love Detroit. It's like
Detroit's amazing, man. Detroit is an amazing city.
Yeah.
Like I have nothing bad to say about Detroit at all. I even like the Lions. I don't give a fuck about the Tigers or the Flyers, but like, yeah, I like the Lions.
Yeah, I like the Lions.
Barry, come on, you know.
Exactly.
Barry Sanders, yeah.
How do you feel they're similar though?
So, if you look at how America was built, right, and you really do the knowledge on it, all those Rust Belt cities like Detroit, Cleveland, Baltimore, Pittsburgh, they all played like a huge role in creating the modernization of America, right? And they each specialize in a different thing. right? Detroit was automotive because of Henry Ford. Cleveland had other factories and fisheries because of the proximity to Lake Erie in Canada. Baltimore had the Domino Sugar Plant. The other thing, and I forget what else Baltimore did. They also had like railroad connections because of DC, DMV area. And Pittsburgh, the steel, right? And Pittsburgh funded all of that. You can't do any of that without steel. And at this time, Pittsburgh was the richest city in the world. When the Carnegies are here, Westinghouses, Frick, Mellon, all the, Pittsburgh built the world, right? So Detroit made the world go. Whereas Pittsburgh built it, Detroit literally allowed people to travel because of all the automotive plants. When the mills were shut down in Pittsburgh and the plants were shut down in Detroit, they both fell into economic decay, like a free fall, a fleeting city. And the thing about Detroit was the infrastructure was set up to handle so many more people than that are even there right now. Same thing with Pittsburgh. Pittsburgh used to have a population of 750,000 people at the height of the mills. Only 300,000 people live in Pittsburgh now. From 1991 to 2026, Pittsburgh never had a spike in population, right? In 2026, it posted up the first year. 2025. Still during Mayor Ed Gaines' administration. Pittsburgh seen a 1,000 resident population spike for the first time since 1991. Detroit started feeling the same thing. They started getting population spikes, right? Now, it's nowhere near the numbers they used to hold, but they're two cities that have very similar atmospheres, very similar economic industries. Topographically, they're a little different, but they also had highways that cut through black neighborhoods, and they also had massive redistricting, gentrification, and rezoning of black neighborhoods. Pittsburgh with the Hill, and Detroit virtually everything north of 7 Mile, right? I think it's north, up 7 Mile. So they have a very common shared ancestry, same as Cleveland and same as Baltimore, right? They all share a lifeline, literally. As the rivers go up and that pipeline kind of goes up the Rust Belt, like these are all cities that, they're cousins. They should be treated as such. It was like you can go in Detroit and it's like, this feels oddly familiar, right? So about Detroit having middle-class black neighborhoods still. Pittsburgh doesn't have a middle-class black neighborhood. And one thing I always say, and I think for all the viewers, one thing that you've learned at this point is like, I've been around the world, right? I've been very fortunate, God is good, that I've been on every continent except for Antarctica. And I say this all the time, being black in Pittsburgh is the most unique black experience in the world, in my opinion. Being a black person in Pittsburgh is the most unique experience a black person can have in the world. Simply for the fact that all of these things that happen in Pittsburgh, Damon Young, who's an author from here, wrote a book called What Doesn't Kill You Makes You Blacker. And he called Pittsburgh, specifically the South Side, but Pittsburgh affectionately, as white Wakanda, right? And that paints a very stark contrast to what people think. And you think like the draft just happened, right? I put up this thing on social media about the cost of living in Pittsburgh and about the realities of what it's like to be a black person. And this is like where our work with One Hood starts to come to the forefront. Pittsburgh has a working class family poverty rate higher than any city in America post-Katrina. So the poorest black people in the world, in America post-Katrina, live in Pittsburgh. Second is like Jackson, Mississippi, and then Flint, Michigan, and then I believe, I can't remember what the next city is. But the average median income for a black family in Pittsburgh is $35,000.
Yeah, I read that.
Right. That was just a study that just put up. And I was just talking about this today. The cost of living to be comfortable for a single person in Pittsburgh is $90,000.
Yeah, that was...
So the economic disparities are quite apparent when you look at those numbers, right? So navigating Pittsburgh, in 5 years, Pittsburgh lost 10,000 black people to gentrification. In a city where black people are 23% of the population and shrinking rapidly, only 13% of Allegheny County. The black population in Pittsburgh is so segregated and fragmented by design. There was never after they tore the Hill down, that was the it of middle-class black neighborhoods, families, everything. It's completely tossed into poverty. So Pittsburgh's poverty rate is ridiculously high. The infant mortality rate is 400%. That's the third world country's rate, right? How? When you have UPMC here.
Right.
The best medical care in the world is in Pittsburgh. Yeah, but black women and children die at an alarming rate in Pittsburgh. air quality because of the Braddock Mills and all these other things, right? You have all these things against you as a black person in Pittsburgh. In 2019, it was called the worst city in America for a black woman to live. So I believe the statistics was like a black woman makes 64 cents to a white man's dollar.
Yeah, I've heard that.
Right? So these are quantifiable statistics. All of these things were done. All these studies were done, yet nothing was done to fix the problems.
Right.
Black people are the most studied people on the planet, but how do we come up with solutions? You name me all the problems with black people. Help us fix the solutions to the problems you created. So,
no, do you?
Yeah. If you look at the gentrification in Pittsburgh, East Liberty, when I first moved here, looks completely different now. My friend that came in from Montreal, it's the first time he had been in Pittsburgh. He's from Pittsburgh. The first time he'd been to Pittsburgh in 20 years. So when I would link them, I was like, yo, bruv, like, link me East Lib, because, like, you know, I'm kind of on the move right now. He's like, yeah, calm, I got you. So he pulled up, and I'm like, yo, do you recognize this? He's like, I know where I am because I went to Shenley, but I don't recognize this at all. Like, I don't know where I am. And how the gentrification in East Liberty is complete. Pittsburgh is the most gentrified city, second most gentrified. I'm sorry. As of 2026, Pittsburgh is the third most gentrified city in America.
Wow.
So when you paint that narrative, one thing people say when they come to Pittsburgh, specifically black people, is like, where are the black people in Pittsburgh?
Right.
Where are they? Because whereas you said when you were in Detroit, you said you seen nothing but black people.
Well, Farmington Hills.
Well, Farmington, right. Yeah. You can go into Pittsburgh and never see a black person. It's like an episode of Friends or Seinfeld.
Yeah.
It's like, where are they? You know what I mean? So Pittsburgh has done this amazing cover-up job and perpetrated itself nationally as this tech hub and all these other things. In East Liberty, they tore down schools to put up luxury condos. Like literally, they just closed the school, moved the children, and put up luxury condos. Like, Reisenstein. They in that same neighborhood, they redistricted Larmer to build Bakery Square. They allow Google to come in, Amazon, Phillips. They call that AI Avenue. That part of Penn Avenue is now called AI Avenue. Yeah. You have Duolingo. All these buildings existed where black people lived. Yeah. In historically and formerly black neighborhoods, you have tech hubs now that are HQ'd in Pittsburgh. And it is completely uprooted and removed all black people from visibility. And with that, on top of what the Hill District was to the world, right? Yeah. Pittsburgh having the first all-black lineup with the Pittsburgh Pirates. All these things happen simultaneously in Pittsburgh. The Black Panthers, even fast forward all the way into like the Steelers in the Super Bowl and having Cordell Stewart and, you know, a black quarterback, right? All these different things, whether it's entertainment or not, Pittsburgh it still has such a rich black experience, but a lot of it now has been marred because of the politics that these people play with black people's lives. And in Pittsburgh, the unemployment rate is astronomical for African Americans. Right, for black people, right? It's ridiculous. The acceptance rate in the universities is ridiculous. But Pittsburgh Public School is like, I think, almost 60% black, right? And it just paints this reality where it's like, what Pittsburgh are we talking about? Because it's literally two different cities.
I want to see what you think about a concept. Something I was thinking about. I talked to a few friends of mine.
Yeah.
So, like, for example, I have biracial friends, women, that grew up where they were so light that black girls would tease them and basically hate on them. Yeah. Where they grew up learning to hate black culture and the black side of them, right? Yeah. Now, when I speak to these women, it sounds to me like they sound like unapologetic white privilege. Mm-hmm. The conversations that we have kind of go into why is it that a black person, say in Pittsburgh, like me, why do I feel this way when an African, you know, can come over here and not feel any type of white privilege or racism or whatever? Mm-hmm. And I felt like at the time, it's based on the paradigm that you gain because of your experience living in this environment. Yeah. Like, do you feel like the paradigm is what gives us what we have to be able to say, this is racism, this is white privilege, these are the things that's going on. Like, just based on what I experienced and living in Pittsburgh, and you know what I mean? Versus someone that has never experienced that, so they're looking through a completely different lens.
Right. So, and if I don't answer this directly, please stop me and ask me to directly, get your question. At the top of it, right, we're all impacted by white supremacy. Mm-hmm. Everybody is. White people are impacted by white supremacy. Everybody is impacted by white supremacy. What white supremacy does is it feeds you different things. It feeds you capitalism. It feeds you Zionism. It feeds you white nationalism. It feeds you anti-Blackness, right?
Can I pause you just for a second?
Yeah.
Can you define white supremacy?
Yeah, so white supremacy is, I can't give you the exact Oxford definition, the textbook definition, but white supremacy is colloquially defined as a white Anglo-Saxon Protestant feeling of superiority and dominion over the globe. Mm-hmm. And basically, white people think God died and left them in charge.
So could that be used in a, like, intentionally as well as not in an indirect fashion as well?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, you could be a negligent white supremacist. Of course, yeah, absolutely. Because if you're a white person, you grew up in a white world thinking everything was made for you. Right? So why would you not be? I mean, Kanye said this on Drink Champs, right? And you can say what you want about Ye, but like, he said two things that are super, super great think pieces to have discourse on. When you're born, and you're born two things, capitalist and a white supremacist, right? It doesn't matter who you are. You live in America, right? You're born a capitalist and a white supremacist. You have to do your thing. You have to do your own work to unlearn those things, right? So as a white person, why would you unlearn white supremacy? The system is literally designed to benefit you over every corner you turn, right? So why would you? Like, of course, if I was a white person, I'd be upset you niggas is trying to take this shit from me. It's like, yeah, nah, this is the way of the world. If I'm white, I'm thinking that, right? So to go back to your point, you have all these different umbrella things that fall, all these different offshoots that fall under the umbrella of white supremacy, right? Anti-Blackness is really the most profitable one, because anti-Blackness was the fuel for capitalism, but the transatlantic slave trade, right? Transatlantic slave trade changed the globe. You made human capital, right? Everybody always wants to shout like, oh yeah, well everybody has slaves, yes, but nobody made money off of them. Nobody had a global enterprise of trafficking black people. Nobody did. That's, you know what I mean? So anything after that is a moot point. So people who experience anti-Blackness, anti-Black racism, Black people can, and sometimes often do, uphold the tenets of white supremacy better than white people do. Oftentimes. You don't have to look too further into the MAGA Republic, the Black MAGAs, and all these other, some of these podcast bros and these black incels and, the fresh and fit niggas and all them whack niggas, right? They all uphold these tenets of white supremacy, and they do so lovingly. Like, they love it, right? That's their identity. When Africans come over, or anybody else that comes over that's black, that's from a diasporic experience, you're fed anti-Blackness about Black Americans, right? And you're fed a strong diet of it from the moment that you begin your naturalization process, even to where they tell you what neighborhood you're in and everything. They make it very clear that you are not like Black Americans, right? They don't want us to have this diasporic connection. And that was evident of, taking our names from us during slavery, chattel slavery, and, all these things. But as it turns to internalize anti-Blackness from light-skinned people, biracial people, sometimes that's a survival technique, right? You have to hate yourself in order to survive amongst white people, right? Think about the one black kid that grew up in an all-white town. Imagine the trauma he had to grow up with. Being called the N-word every day was just it's regular, right? Jokes about his hair, jokes about his food or anything, his name, whatever it is. Yeah. He grows up with nothing but self-hatred. These biracial women, right? And of course, because European beauty standards and, all these other things, that's still anti-Blackness, right? When we say Serena Williams is ugly or built like a man, and they make the monkey cartoons about Serena Williams, right? That's anti-Blackness.
Right.
Well, anytime we go back and we think about with the Barbie dolls and everything that we dealt with in the 80s and the black cartoons and all these things that you're fed this healthy diet, this toxic and poisonous diet, but it's in a large serving quality of anti-black racism. So you learn to hate yourself.
Yeah.
Right? And you always want proximity to whiteness because by your account, white is where everything is okay. Where our parents used to say white is right. You know what I mean?
Could it be argued that by today's, like the times of today, it is? In like in Pittsburgh, for example, so like I moved out here.
Right, yeah. Wild fall. For anybody who's not watching, this nigga is not close. This nigga is nowhere near Pittsburgh. He's nowhere near Pittsburgh.
It's like 15 minutes or so.
You just gonna lie on a Tuesday?
Look, so I moved.
I thought this is a hold on. I'm not gonna let that rock. I thought this is a podcast, but you gave me a disclaimer. This is predicated upon truth, and you said you were opening the pushback. You just gonna lie on a Tuesday? This ain't.
Bro.
Took me an hour to get out here, nigga.
I'm a neighborhood away from Carnegie, though.
That's far. That's technically Pittsburgh, but that's far. If you in the city, you know. That's the ends.
Oh,
yeah.
Man.
But go ahead.
East Siders.
Yeah. That's a fact. Super facts.
So I moved out here because of the school system, because we hear,
right.
Top Western PA school district, blase blah. It's trees out here.
It does look different.
It completely,
yeah,
right?
it looks different, yeah.
This
is like the suburbs almost.
Yeah.
Well, this right here is the suburbs, but like Carnegie and all that seem almost like the suburbs.
It kind of. It's like city, but not quite.
Yeah.
This
the suburbs before the suburbs, if you will. Yeah.
So where I'm at, 10 minutes away in South Fayette, like that's suburbs.
Okay.
There's horses and cows and all that. Yeah. Make sure I get the camera on that face. So I moved out here just because of the concept of having my kids in this environment where we could leave toys on the porch.
Yeah.
They can, go to class and not feel the pressure of needing to wear Jordans when they're in the 5th grade.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
I got you, yeah.
Like, there are things that are happening in the inner city, in public schools and stuff like that feel like a threat, that feel like, an environment that some people may not want to be around.
Right.
So someone could argue, well, being around the white people or in this white neighborhood is more beneficial. So,
until it's not.
Right. So
until it becomes unsafe. Until your name is Ahmaud Arbery and you're jogging and you get killed because people don't think you belong there. Until your name is Breonna Taylor and police shoot up your house because they have a warrant that is unlawful. Until, you're Sean Bell, where you're walking in a neighborhood and you're mistaken and police kill you on the night of your wedding. Till you're Antoine Rose II, when you're running away from a police officer with your back turned and he shoots you 3 times in the back. And that was after he was on the job for 8 hours and was told to stand down by his superior officer. Yeah. Until your name is Johnny Gamage. Remember Johnny Gamage?
I remember Johnny Gamage. That was Brentwood?
Brentwood, right? Police pulled him over. He was George Floyd before George Floyd.
Yeah.
Right? So I hear you. And I think everybody wants that for their family, right? Everybody, Gil Scott-Heron said that, you know what I mean? Like, all I want is a little bit of, for my wife and my children.
Yeah, white picket fence.
Right, everybody wants a little bit of that, right? American dream.
Yeah.
3.5 children, and you know what I mean? Right, but
American dream.
But who does that dream belong to, right? I'm not saying you're wrong for that, and I'm not saying your lived experience isn't wrong with that neither, but that's not everybody's reality. Now, let me ask you a question. Do your children, are there a lot of black people in the school?
No, so that was I moved here in 2017.
Okay.
That was my thought process when I did move out here. Now, it's completely changed.
Right, of course. You have some experience out here now.
It's Yes, based on my experience out here, but at the same time, speaking to more intelligent intellectuals and having that conversation about the city and the city schools and stuff.
Right, yeah.
So, yes, there aren't as many black kids, although it has been increasing over the years.
Because of gentrification and displacement.
Right.
Right, yeah.
So we have that, and we also have a lot of other cultures, so there's a lot of Indians.
Yeah,
stuff like that.
yeah.
But it's different. School in general is different, where it's almost as if they don't necessarily know how to treat
Black kids. Yeah, of course, right.
Where when I went to school, there was like a soulful.
What schools did you go
to? A lot of different ones, but the main one, Prospect.
Okay.
So Prospect Middle School, and then from there, Shenley and Valley.
Okay. So I know Shenley, I don't know Valley.
Valley, New Kensington.
Oh, okay, yeah. I don't know about them ends. Yeah.
Shenley is way.
Yeah, Shenley's different. Yeah, Shenley's different beast. Yeah, rest in peace, Shenley. Cause R.I.P. Shenley. Yeah.
But
Shenley picnic. Shenley picnic used to go up. Shenley school picnic. Yeah.
Kennywood.
Yeah. Shenley school picnic. I heard all about that. Yeah.
Yeah, we was wild. And the parties. We used to throw some crazy.
Yeah. And had one of the best basketball teams in the nation.
Yeah.
Yeah, I just learned about this.
For real?
Yeah, I just learned about from Rough Bones thing on TikTok. Yeah. I just learned about that. Dewan was there and everything. Yeah.
That was a little bit after me though. I'm class of '99.
Okay. I'm 04. So yeah. So I'm
It's wild, but yeah. Prospect. So I say Prospect.
Yeah.
I say it was a multicultural center, and it was specifically designed for black students.
Right.
We had mostly black teachers, black principal. Everyone was loving to the point, and I think I said this on another podcast, where the like my English teacher would take some of the girls and like they'd go shopping and hang out on the weekends and stuff.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
I remember one time I came to class and my hand was messed up and my writing hand left. My English teacher was like, "You ain't just gonna sit there, pick up the pen with your right hand," like they cared.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Matter of fact, that was the same teacher that argued and basically pushed for me to be in the scholars program. So like she seen something in me where all my friends were going, like, I don't know if you've seen the scholars program, but like once a week, kids would leave and go to another school or whatever where they get to do.
I'm familiar with the concept. Yeah, I've never seen the program in practice, but yeah.
Yeah, so one day all the kids were leaving and she came up to me. She's like, "You're going to be late. Go ahead." I'm like, "I'm not in scholars." She's like, "What?"
Yeah.
So she called my mom. She called whoever she needed to call at the school to get me tested and put me in the program.
Like a gifted program, so to speak. Yeah. They say now that was like an autism training course. Yeah. So if you were gifted, you have autism. Yeah.
Yeah, probably.
Yeah.
I've talked about that a few times.
Yeah.
But in general they cared. And now in the suburbs, they don't care as much. And it's almost as if they're trying to find anything they can to get your kid on an IEP.
So can I speak about this?
Yeah.
So let's hit the whatever, surprising card or whatever. So after I left the music industry, right? We can talk about why I left later, but I got into education and I became a K through 8 teacher.
Nice.
Right? So I was a K through 8 teacher here in Pittsburgh, right? So I never went university or anything, I kind of was able to slip my way into the cracks, so to speak. That's a very real thing, right? Education. So specifically in charter schools, because that's where I worked in a charter school, you are incentivized to diagnose a child with an IEP because they become profitable and you get more money per student for an IEP, right? So in charter schools, I believe you get roughly, at least when I was in education, they priced it, and this is what was hurting other school districts, right? Was the charter school taking children away,
right? Taking
the school tax away, right? You get roughly like $7,000 a student. If they had an IEP, they were twice as valuable. So even just on a financial level, you're incentivized to diagnose children with IEPs.
Is that tie into the school psychologist giving them like a school diagnosis of something?
Yes, and what you're supposed to do is you're supposed to go to like Children's Hospital, you're supposed to get like neurologically evaluated, right? Some type of second opinion. Right. And assess whether you actually have an IEP, stands for Individual Education Plan, right? And there's different things in there. You have 504s, OHIs, which is other health impairments, right? So if you're differently abled. If you have like IEPs could also now, because of the DSM-6 is about to come out, probably, different gender identity issues, right? Those will all fall under like individual education plans, right? So if you have a child of the trans experience, right, they become more valuable to a charter school or a school now. But they still get lumped into a remediated or a slow course, as we used to call them, right? Even if there's nothing wrong with them, right? You're incentivized to place those children in IEPs,
right?
Or place IEPs upon those children. As a parent, you're like, whoa, there's nothing wrong with my child, right? You're telling me my child's dumb? Is that what you're telling me? You're telling me my child's stupid? And what that does is it skews all the data, all the test requisites, all the things that are lumped into running a school. Now you have to look at it as a business, right? Because it's all about money.
Right.
And what I say white supremacy gives you, capitalism. After anti-Blackness. And anti-Blackness and capitalism, they go together real good. You know what I mean? They go together real good. So children are othered from the moment they become proficient enough to speak in school. And you racialize their accent, their syntax, their language, you racialize their name, and then you, based off your racialization of those children, you deduce like an outcome for them. This is where standardized tests come within, we're in the state of Pennsylvania, the PSSAs.
PSSAs and Keystones, right?
Right. So if your child, take the PSSAs, grade 3, grade 5, grade 8.
Right.
Right? If your child is not proficient by grade 3, and I want everybody to know this, whenever your children bring home a test and they have like proficient or advanced, and you're in a city school, proficient, which is basically everybody's like, hey, congratulations, you passed the test, you got proficient. That means you actually perform at 2 grade levels below your actual grade level. So if you read at if you're proficient in grade 3, you could pretty much read at a grade 1 level with proficiency.
Right.
If you're advanced, you're either at or above grade level. So you can be advanced and just read at like your actual grade level. I can read at grade 3 fine.
And not actually be advanced.
Correct. But that's how they do. And resources are allocated depending on how students score. So that's why they change what proficient and advanced mean, because if all of these children in these affluent districts are scoring high, right, they're going to get all the funding, which it shouldn't be the case.
Right.
It should be inverse, but
right.
Capitalism. So the other thing about that is while your children are taking these tests, right, if they're not functionally literate at grade 3, the money that is set aside for them by the state, this is a fact, the money that is set aside for them by the state that would fund their education, again, remember I told you, annually it's around $7,000 per child, goes to the state correctional institution.
Like jail?
Because they're preparing for that child to go to jail. Wow. If you are not literate by the age of grade 3, by the grade 3 age, like 8, 9 years old, they're expecting you to be in jail before you graduate high school. So that's how the prison industrial complex and that school to prison pipeline actually work. There's just a paper trail. You just have to find just find out where the money goes. You know what I mean? So that's real.
Yeah.
That's actually real. And as an educator, like I remember seeing like, unfortunately, like I went to jail in school. I was in jail in school. You know what I mean? And I remember looking at some of my youth like, yeah, unfortunately, I know where you about to go. You know what I mean? And then I remember when we started doing some of our youth programming in this juvenile detention facility. Remember Schumann?
Yeah.
Yeah, but when Schumann was still open, One Hood was doing programming in there.
I think they're open again.
It's a private institution now. Yeah. But I was seeing some of my youths in there that I had in school.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And I know that, like, I'm not mad you in here. I'm happy to see you. You know what I mean? But like, that's the thing. It's like the school system isn't designed no matter where you go to protect black children.
So is it like I feel like probably the white community or anti-black culture would look at it like a self-fulfilling prophecy type.
Absolutely, yeah, because again, that's that diet of anti-black racism that you're fed. So like you're not looking as black, and that's the thing. It's like you're not looking as black people as a benchmark for success. You never look at black people as a benchmark for success. They always tell us we have to do twice as much to go half as far.
Right.
Right. So that's you know what I mean. That's part of that's part of it. Is like you're not looking at black people as the benchmark for success.
Yeah.
And it's difficult when the resources don't exist, and when black people are siloed in places in Pittsburgh, and they're shackled to these systems that are historically exclusive, right? We have to come up with new language around us, like people's like, oh, well, everybody leaves, like, you know, like, or systemic racism and all this, historically exclusive, because the system was never designed to include you. So that's language that we have to use as community people and as people that use people-centered language.
Yeah.
Historically excluded paints an accurate portrayal of what's happening to black people, why you don't see black teachers, why you don't see black doctors, why, you know, that nigga that got shot in the neck can say, if I see a black pilot, I'm scared to know if he knows how to fly the plane. That whole thing, that anti-DEI thing is like, we take some different test.
Yeah.
It's like, no, a black pilot and a white pilot is going to take the same qualifying exams.
Right. Right.
Right? Like, that's just the facts of the matter. You know what I mean?
Interesting.
Yeah, so it's like when you look at it in that way, right, when you strip away all the clickbaity shit and all the rage bait and all the hot button things, you look at it like, was this system designed to include me, yes or no? It's a very simple answer. And no is the answer 11 times out of 10.
Right.
Right? So whether you move to the suburbs, whether you live in a city, a rural area, whatever, the system exists.
And I added that you don't live in Pittsburgh to add a little context, I guess, for the audience mostly.
Yeah.
That Wilkinsburg, I don't think they're starting to gentrify it yet, but it's one of those areas where
Regent Square. It's yeah. You can Wilkinsburg is interesting. Wilkinsburg is interesting because I live in this super weird overlap of Wilkinsburg at the very top of Penn Avenue.
like Edgewood or Churchill.
So it's like across the street is Churchill.
Okay.
Down the street is Blackridge and Penn Hills. To the left of me, below me, is like Wilkinsburg proper.
But even still, it's one of those areas where if you build a brand new house there,
The taxes is well high.
that and you wouldn't be able to sell it to make, like it would cost more to build it than what you would make selling it.
Yeah.
Where, like you said, the $90K it takes to live decently in Pittsburgh.
Yeah.
Most of the neighborhoods in Pittsburgh are extremely expensive now.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. Gentrification in Pittsburgh is crazy. Like, you know what I mean? I was just telling my man, like, you know, we talk about this all the time. Public Source has something out right now that they're doing like a thing about the affordability of Pittsburgh. Affordability is a myth, right? Affordability is an average.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That's all it is. Like it's an average indicator.
Right.
Right. So if you do math, like it's no different than like a batting average. You know what I mean? Like it is what it is. So affordability is a myth, and that it's very subjective because what's affordable for you out here in the suburbs is going to be completely different from me.
Yeah.
Right. So Pittsburgh's affordability is, you know, damn near the same as any other American city at this point. Right. Your groceries might cost less because there's no real sales tax in Pennsylvania. Right, when you buy, like you go buy a coat or something, you're not paying the sales tax on that, and it's only 7%, which is, you know, low in comparison to other areas.
Right.
So you're thinking, oh yeah, I'm getting a better bang for my buck here, right? But there are still flats that are like a studio flat is like $1,900. A 2-bedroom to rent in the city proper starts at like $24.
Yeah.
Right? Like who's affording that?
Yeah. Like all them lofts down in the Strip District.
Yeah, I mean,
ain't nobody, no regular working middle class Pittsburgh person can afford to live.
No, not at all. Not at all. And like, and you gotta keep in mind like how exponentially fast those rates went up just in the last couple of years.
Yeah.
Just in the last few years.
Yeah.
Right? Like, you know, when I first moved into Pittsburgh, I was paying like $500 a month in rent, like $535 actually.
What year?
2014.
Okay, that makes sense because just before I bought my house. I bought it in 2017. 2016, I had a 1-bedroom apartment in Brentwood. I think I was paying like $575.
Right, yeah. You can still get affordable stuff in Brentwood. It's just so far. Yeah, you know what I mean? But that's the thing. It's like, you know, the city is just like any other place in America right now. It's like this is the standard now. You know what I mean? And we could, you know, there's so many different rabbit holes you can go into, like data centers, and you can go into, people buying, like algorithmic pricing, people buying, like companies buying properties just to hold them. Mm-hmm. You know, just to wait for the value to go high so they can charge an arm and a leg to live there.
I heard they do something similar in areas, probably like Homewood, Wilkinsburg, where they buy up all the condemned buildings and let them sit looking condemned and drive the value down.
Absolutely.
And then when it's super low or whatever.
You can ask your wife about that. That's what Detroit did. But Detroit did something to reinvest in the population, right? Detroit was doing $1 bonds for houses. So there was a program in the city. I can't remember what it was, but I had talked to the people that were helping facilitate the initiative, right? Essentially, you could buy a lot of land for like $1, a house and a lot of land.
Wow.
For $1, and you had to be black. You had to be a black person, and I believe that there was like you had to be a black person. You had to be. There was some other criteria that you had to match, but I believe they still do it. Right, because I went to tour one of the properties that this guy bought, this artist bought, and he had this art installation in there. And he's like, yeah, like, you know, like I bought this house for $1 and built it up. You know what I mean? But that's the thing. It's like we need more community people on land banks, in city trusts, right? And that's where we can kind of talk about politics and everything. Where it's like the importance of having people-centered politics and people-centered language around all of those things, because that's the reason Pittsburgh got gentrified, because they decentralized people. Yeah. You know what I mean? They decentralized community. And that was Pittsburgh's building block, was predicated upon destroying the Hill District and creating this metropolitan. There's literally, I believe it was David L. Lawrence, is the former mayor of Pittsburgh, who created much of the design of what's happening in Pittsburgh now, I believe like in the 40s. So this is a long game.
Right.
This was something that was always proposed to happen to Pittsburgh.
Right.
What's happening right now. And it's the decentralization of black people.
Bro, this is like, so I'm like a true nerd, right?
Right, yeah.
Where it comes to, like I listen to audiobooks when I drive.
Yeah.
Watching long YouTube videos. And this is something that I wouldn't necessarily say I'm a student of, but it's mind-blowing. Like, I could literally sit here and talk to you about
Oh, man, I appreciate you. Yeah. I mean, this is what I do for a living. You know what I mean? Like, this is literally, you know, why I go to universities and talk, and what I'm on TV doing. You know what I mean? Like, these are the things that I talk about all the time. So it's kind of like my shit. But I appreciate you, really and truly.
I appreciate you, bro.
Yeah.
As a matter of fact, as you're speaking, I'm thinking in my head, we have to do this again. Like, I'm gonna have to.
Yeah, we can do a part 2. Absolutely. Yeah.
Man,
yeah.
I want to get into some other stuff while we still got some time available. And anything that I think of, like if there's something like a point or topic that I really want to like drive in or speak on, then I'll just pull it back.
Yeah.
But so one thing I've been dying to speak to you about. This is one of the reasons why I was really excited and couldn't wait till you got here. Yeah. So I tell people all the time, my son, who is 18 right now.
Okay.
Around when he was.
I was wondering. So wait, how old are your children?
15 through 19.
Okay.
And my wife has her daughter, well, our daughter, 12. And then we have 2 sons. She has 1, I have 1. They're both 11.
Okay, so they're all like, you know, preteens and up.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. So they're not babies.
No.
Yeah, right, okay, I got it. Yeah. But that's crazy. But 15 and 19, they're back to back. All them youths is back to back.
Bro, I was a pretty...
Nigga was getting busy.
I was a pretty popular rapper back in the day.
Busy.
They called me a pianist.
Man, listen.
I was a producer.
Man, listen, you nigga was getting... He said, God said, be fruitful. He begotten children. Hey. Man, listen, biblically.
Man.
God bless you, man. Mashallah.
I appreciate
Mashallah.
That. I learned my lesson, though.
Yeah.
So my son, when he was around 14, 15, he started to get into shoes.
Yeah. Yeah, let's go. Let's go.
So his grandfather on his mom's side started giving him all different types of pairs of shoes. And this is right around the age where I don't know if you've been around a lot of like teenagers and stuff where they get like,
Yeah, I mean, I taught K through 8, so yeah,
okay.
like, yeah.
So when they get defiant and, you know, you got to put a little muscle into them.
Yeah.
So in this new millennial age of raising kids, I'm trying to not be as violent and, you know.
Of course, we don't want to do the same mistakes our parents did to us.
Exactly.
Yeah,
so I'm trying to connect with them. So I start collecting shoes.
Yeah.
I started with reps.
Oh, okay. Oh my God.
Yeah.
You actually said it on camera?
Yeah, I've said it before.
Okay. All right. Well, let's keep going. I appreciate the honesty.
I started with reps,
Yeah.
buying from DH Gate, and to me, not really knowing much about sneakers.
Yeah. Okay.
It was like, these are $40 shoes.
Right.
You know, and to buy the actual real one might be like $400. Like,
Right.
oh, I'm gonna buy these.
On the resale market, yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
So I buy them, I put them on, and they kind of feel like my foot is wrapped in cardboard.
Yeah. Probably because it is.
Yeah. Right? So after that, I'm like, I start learning more about it, and I see, the mesh is facing the wrong way. And,
Right.
You know, once you look at the real one, it's like, I could blatantly tell.
Yeah, of course, yeah.
So eventually, and this is what I do now, I go on to various sites and buy decent shoes that are used.
Of course.
And I've been following you for a long time.
Yeah.
I know that you're a sneaker guy.
Come on, man. Speaking my language.
So this whole time, like after I invited you,
Yeah.
I'm thinking it's, so you watched the one. Most of my episodes that I filmed, well, pretty much all of them, I tried to wear a pair of Jordans.
Yeah.
And I'm literally going through my shoebox like, do I need to buy a new pair? What is the dopest pair of Jordans that I got that I could wear to this interview?
You got good ones on.
Yeah.
You got PSG 4. That's a good one. It's a good shoe.
I appreciate it.
Good shoe. Yeah.
Yeah. I was like, I had to pick I was gonna buy. It's probably about 2 days ago. I was gonna buy the Family Affair 3s.
Okay. Yeah.
And I've wanted them for a long time, but I end up getting the Craft 4s.
Okay. Craft 4s. Yeah.
Instead of the what's the other green 4s they just came out with last year?
There's a couple of them.
I can't remember.
The Union?
No.
Or not the Undefeated. Yeah, my bad. I don't know what's in the Union. Yeah, Undefeated 4, yeah.
Yeah, so instead of the Undefeated, I got the Crafts because I found them used like really affordable.
Yeah, I'll tell you, that's the best way to go.
Yeah.
You get a nigga like me who wears a sneaker once or twice, you couldn't tell.
Yeah.
Like I just took these 5s out the box today, like, you know, but these 5s are like, these young dudes don't respect sneaker culture. I got the fire red 5s, but like, you can still walk in the finish line and get these, you know what I mean? Like they're still rotting on the shelves.
Yeah.
I wanted them because the black tongue 5 is the shit. But yeah, these youths, they don't care about Jordans the way we did when we was growing up. Yeah. They don't care.
See, my cousin was really, really into shoes. I was always into video games.
Me too.
So I wanted, like, me growing up, my mom would give me a choice.
Yeah.
It would be, you could get some brand new shoes or you could get this Nintendo game.
Okay,
And I'm like, give me Zelda.
I got you. Oh, yeah. Ocarina of Time?
No, I'm talking NES.
Oh, NES. Oh, yeah. NES Zelda. Okay, yeah. Yeah, sneakers. So for me, sneakers became this famous because, like, you know, I don't know how you grew up, right? But like, if you grow up poor and everyone's around you poor, you don't know you poor, right? Because it's the standard, right? It's regular. So we would always get last year's sneakers. My dad had 3 of us, right?
Okay.
My youngest sibling, he was small foot, so he would always get the current sneaker because he had like baby feet.
Cheaper.
Yeah, so it's cheaper, right? I always had big ass feet. I'm 5'8", I wear 11.5 or a 12. It depends on the sneaker. So I'm wild chubby footed. You know what I mean? So like, yeah, so I always had big feet. So I was always getting last year's sneaker.
Yeah.
And I was just telling the story on Instagram maybe like 2 weeks ago. There was this kid I went junior high with, and his name was George Wasik, right? He was a Portuguese kid. And I think he was Portuguese. He's a dark ass white boy. He's cool. George was cool. George was like a walking East Bay catalog. This nigga had everything. Every week he came on with a new Jordan flight suit. I remember the year the 13s came out because I aged with the Jordan. That's like, you know what I mean? So, you know what I mean? Like, so when the 13s came out, George had like every pair of the 13s. And then when the 14s came out that year when Mike was in the playoffs, he had them. And he had all the shirts to match everything. He had the Garnetts, the Tim Duncans. You know what I mean? If you know, you know about the Tim Duncans. But I always wanted to be like George. Because I remember one time I had like the KG flight posits the year after they was popular. And this white boy was like, yeah, I almost got those last year. I was like, bitch ass nigga. Like, you know what I mean? Like, no, like, yeah, like, you know what I mean? My parents ain't got it like that.
Right.
You know? So from then on, I became obsessive about sneakers. So this is probably like grade 7. And just for the fact that I couldn't have the nice sneakers that I wanted. So the moment I was able to get them, I went crazy. You know, and I was like, it didn't matter the brand. I had no brand allegiance. I still don't have a brand allegiance, even though Jordan Brand gave us $2,000. You know, large up.
Oh, that's what's up.
Yeah, large up, Mike. We appreciate you. Yeah, Jordan Brand gave us $2,000. Yeah, like I had no brand allegiance. I just wanted dope sneakers forever. So I started collecting sneakers pretty faithfully 2002. 2001-ish, I started really collecting sneakers.
Okay.
Right? And the first sneaker that did it for me, though, was the Griffey 3 in grade 6. My mom got them for me for my birthday. And my mom was like, yo, if I get you these sneakers, you see how expensive these are, right? You probably ain't gonna get another pair this year, so I'm gonna get them a half a size bigger. And these are gonna be your sneakers. And my mom got me the Griffey 3s. They've never been retroed. And about 10 years ago, I found a pair on eBay and bought them. And I got them in a case in my place. I got a couple other like super rare sneakers. But yeah, I've been collecting sneakers now. So like I have sneakers from the mid 90s.
Wow.
They're collector's pieces. You can't wear them. You know what I mean? But sneakers is like my life. Wow. Like that's like you want to talk about nerd shit? Yeah. I will geek out on sneakers. Amongst other things, but like the comic books, sneakers, video games to an extent. I was always a PlayStation, Sega youth. And martial arts music, you know what I mean? Like I really like my nerd shit, you know what I mean? Like I'm really, it just depends on the thing. But yeah, sneakers,
That's crazy.
So go ahead.
Have you gotten into restoration?
So because a lot of my sneakers are so old now, I'm getting there, right? I have like my Jordan 14s just gave out on me last year.
I hate 14. Those are Ferrari.
I had both, but like I actually had the 14s from high school. Okay. They just died on me. So they lasted a long time. So I was like, I got to get these restored. So I know a couple guys that do them online. I just have like, my thing is like, instead of restoring a sneaker, I'd rather just go buy another sneaker. You know what I mean? Priorities in that. You know what I mean? But like, but I have to start getting into there now. So
I just bought a pair recently within the past 2 months. I bought a pair of UNC 13s.
Okay, yeah.
Like all white with the blue on the sole.
Yeah.
And I was wearing them around, oh man, you'll love this story.
Yeah.
So I wore, every year for Christmas, we go up to Detroit. Okay. So it's like cold, a little bit of snow on the ground.
Right.
I'm walking around, we're in the mall. I forgot the name of the mall, but it's the one mall where it's like the really expensive stuff on one side.
Yeah.
And there's like a walkway and the regular malls on the other side. We're walking around and my shoes start talking. Literally, my sole is falling off.
Yeah.
So I'm like, I can't have this. Let's go to a shoe store. Mind you, I wear a size 14.
Okay, yeah, you tall. Yeah, you tall nigga, yeah.
It's really difficult.
Absolutely. After size 13, you fighting for your life.
So this is right when the Family Affair 3s released.
Yeah.
Also the H-Town 11s.
Right.
I had no idea what the H-Town 11s were.
Yeah.
I didn't know that they were only a regional release.
Yeah.
So I was looking for the Family Affair 3s.
Oh, so this is just this past winter?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
We went into, maybe it was Foot Locker somewhere. The Family Affair 3s, the only pair they had was a 13, didn't fit. It was like, but we got the H-Town 11s and a 14.
Yeah.
Tried them on. The color of them, like the creamish color.
Yeah.
It's like, yo, it's wintertime. This is like a spring shoe.
Yeah, it's gonna get ruined.
I'm gonna ruin these. Nah, I don't want it.
Yeah.
Bro, I didn't get them. I posted online like, man, look at these shoes. I should have bought them, whatever I didn't. Then everybody started telling me, you should have bought them.
Yeah.
And I can't find them.
It's an 11, yeah.
For less than like $300-$400.
So, I mean, I've had so many sneaker heartbreak stories like that. Like, fortunately, so I'm not like a big fan of 11s. I know like everybody loves a lot. They're not for me. Like I have like a couple pairs that I have 11s I haven't even worn.
You just posted something. The Concords, was it? You pulled
the Gratitudes. Yeah. When I won court. Yeah. When I won court, I wore a Concord Gratitudes for the first time. Yeah. It was like a 3-4-year-old sneaker. First time I ever. Yeah. So I've had my sneaker units broke into twice, right? And I've collectively lost. Man, I cried the first time. I lost close to like $60,000 worth of sneakers. Yeah, because I had rare shit. Like I had one of ones, I had some PEs, I had some samples, some really rare sneakers, like obscure things. So I buy sneakers that I like. I don't care if I don't care if the value, I don't give a fuck about the value of it. Do I like the sneaker? Right. Like I look at sneakers like other people look at art because that's what sneakers are, they're wearable art. So does it elicit a response from me? Yes or no? And if it does, then I'm buying it. No ifs, ands, or buts. I'm very fortunate being who I am and doing what I do. I got a lot of sneaker plugs. Even if culturally people say it's ugly? Yeah, I don't give a fuck. I love the ugly sneakers. Like the Kobe 2, the Adidas Kobe 2. It's a hideous sneaker. Absolutely hideous sneaker. It actually made him terminate his contract with Adidas and go free agent. I love it. When they retroed last year, I was like, yeah, I need both pair. Wow. Like, yeah, so I was fortunate enough to get it at retail because no one wanted them. The only people that wanted them were people like me. Right. You know what I mean? That want those. And you wear them? I wore the white and yellow pair. The silver pair, no, that'll just be, I have it. Right. Okay. Sometimes I go down to my storage unit, I look into the box, put it back, and you know what I mean? That's it, right? I just like, but there's a lot of sneakers like that. Yeah. Like there's sneakers that like I get just because it's gonna make me happy. I'm not wearing this. You know what I mean? Like the Ja 3 that just came out, the Jurassic Park Ja 3. That's gonna be a gym shoe. I wear that in the gym occasionally. You know, when I want to like be bright. But you know what? I've seen you post a workout video. Yeah. And I think you were doing push-ups. Yeah. And I forgot what pair you had on, but I'm watching the video like, yo, he's crazy doing push-ups. And these sneakers? Listen, man, there'll be people that hit me up on the gram like, yo, I watch your videos not to see what workouts you're doing, because fuck that. I want to see what you're wearing in the gym. Yeah. So I'll go, I used to box in Kobe 9s. Right, the high top, the super high Kobe 9 after he tore his Achilles. Yeah. So that used to be my boxing shoe, and when that came back out, I was like, oh yeah, I'm gonna go. Like when I go back to the boxing gyms, I have Kobe 9s on because to me it's a great boxing sneaker, and it looks fantastic because it's so bright. Yeah. So it's a great boxing. So yeah, I wear sneakers are meant to be worn. Yeah. And sometimes I gotta tell myself that because I'll be like, oh, I don't want to bring this out today. Yeah. You know, but like yeah, the sneakers are meant to be worn, man. And some sneakers look better with wear, like Air Jordan 1s. They look better the more you fuck them up. Yeah. You know, and I'm fortunate at this point. I've had virtually every sneaker I've ever wanted. There's a couple things that are just like unobtainable that we all know in the culture that you can't get your hands on. Yeah. They fetch like a 5-figure price tag. I'm not paying that. You know what I mean? But there's a couple sneakers where like, you know, I saved up a little bit. Yeah. You know, I was like, maybe I don't need to go out to eat 5 times this month. But that's the sneakers I want. Even like the Yeezys, the foam joints, and the Balenciagas and stuff. I'm not big on designer sneakers. I hate designer sneakers, as a matter of fact. I hate all of them. I don't want no LV runners, no Prada runners, no trainers like that. I like sneakers. Okay. I like a good sneaker. You know what I mean? So I got a lot of the Yeezy Adidas shit. Yeah, I was fortunate to get a pair of Wave Runners when they first dropped in 2017. Yeah. When they was like the hottest sneaker in the fucking world. Yeah, I was able to get one. That was just like a surprise. I wasn't expecting it. I was like, oh shit, I got a pair. You know what I mean? Yeah. But I got a couple things. Like I remember, so I worked with the Canadian karate team for the World Karate Federation, and they were sponsored by Adidas for the karate games. They let us go to this the facility in Big Bear, and then they have an Adidas factory down below. I forget what part of California it's in. Wait, hold on. For the audience, he's saying Adidas when he says Adidas. Adidas, the correct way of pronouncing it. And they let us pick out gear there, right? And I'm the only sneakerhead that was on the team. So I went there and I got the Baylor. I got these crazy like Baylor shits that they didn't release to the public. Yeah, so it was just it was electric line Baylor quick strike crazy light 2.5s. Got those, and I had like some gold medal Derrick Rose's 773s that I got from like the Adidas factory.
See, you mentioned all these shoe names.
Yeah.
I just learned the Jordan shoe names.
Right, okay, yeah. So I'm probably speaking Japanese to you, yeah.
I mean, I get it though, but
Yeah.
there was a point when somebody be like, "Oh, he got on the fours," and I'm like, "What the like?"
Yeah.
I don't understand that, but
Yeah, and that's the thing, like, I do a lot of stuff where I work with teenagers. Like, my youth program is predominantly teenagers. And I go to a lot of high schools. I go to a lot of spaces where young people are. So it helps that, you know what I mean? I like fashion. I like I got some vintage shit on right now, you know what I mean?
I noticed that.
The academic, like the old school academic shit, so I threw this on. But like, I'm always making sure like, I'm a vain, shallow nigga. So, I'm always, put that foot forward, so like, but when I'm in front of the youths, you don't want to be up there and they be like, oh, they try to clown you. Yeah. Cause we know what that was like, cause we was them niggas, like, you know what I mean? You're like, look at this nigga coming to, like, you know what I mean? Like, yeah, I'm sure your son be firing you up sometimes with what you be wearing. Because
he used to.
Yeah.
Not so much anymore.
Yeah, because that's what we did. Yeah. That's what we did. So like when I go in front of the youths, like, but we don't have the same sneaker taste no more. You know what I mean? Like we just don't. The sneaker culture is different from when we were growing up. Yeah. To where it is now. It's all lifestyle. They want Asics. They want New Balance. I got a lot of Asics and New Balance. Matter of fact, there's a documentary called Just for Kicks, and when I was like starting to get a little bit more stable to get the sneakers I want, I was like, I'm gonna get everything I ever wanted. And I was living in London at the time. And there was a pair of New Balances that came out at this boutique that got closed down. I actually went to France just for the New Balances. Wow. Just for the New Balances.
You know what? You just made me think of it. I had one pair of these shoes, and I want them again. Yeah. Saucony's.
Yeah.
And they were, I want to say like a sky blue color.
Okay. They got a lot of models, so you'd have to show me the model and I could probably find it for you. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Cause like that's one thing I do. Like my friends who like want a specific sneaker, that's fun for me to like go and find the model. Like, cause like I'll be on Reddit and I'll ask people if I'm not familiar with it, and I'll ask some of my friends. Like, one of my friends designed the Air Max Toronto 95, right? So I got a pair of those. He sent me a pair of those. Right. I've been a part of like some internal conversations about what a Pittsburgh Jordan would look like, right? A couple of like Pittsburgh centric sneakers. So like I'll be in circles like that, where I can kind of be close to someone who can get me a good sneaker when it's gonna be super hard to get.
You know what? So I try to think. I want to put together like my own merchandise for the podcast.
Yeah.
And the theme of it is Play Cousins. That's the brand.
Right. Now remember, Clips used to have Play Clothes as a clothing line. Yeah.
Maybe, but I'll show you. So
Yeah.
I went on one of these sites, one of these Chinese sites where they do custom shoes and stuff. Yeah. I got a pair of fours, customized, that have Play Cousins all over them.
Okay, yeah.
Right? And they're reps. I had no idea they would be reps, but I can't wear them. Yeah. I wanted to find a shoe guy that I could work with. I wanted to find a shoe guy that I could work with. Somebody that can help me out.
The customized sneakers?
Not necessarily customized, but help me to design them. Like someone that knows shoes enough, because I wouldn't be able to say, oh yeah, this is a dope shoe. Yeah. You know what I mean?
We'll talk offline. Yeah, we'll talk offline.
Bet.
Yeah. But yeah, sneakers is something, it's a great cultural adhesive. You know what I mean? Because sneakers was like, I did this workshop on, it's called Soul to Soul, right? And I did it about the economy of sneakers. And I talked about the first $100 sneaker, the first $200 sneaker. Talked about how sneaker culture, it was really the thing that brought dope boys, rappers, and athletes and suburban kids all together under the same umbrella. Yeah. Right? Rap wasn't doing that.
Was that around, I want to say Run DMC when they started wearing shell toes?
Like so that was a big thing, but like the first, so Run DMC was the first group with a sneaker deal. Yeah. You know what I mean? the Puma Clyde was the first sponsored athlete. Was Clyde. But sneakers like, like the Gucci loafer, right? The Stan Smith. And then there's some other ones, but like there were certain things that everybody took to, regardless of economic class. And it was sneakers, right? Sneakers was always this thing. It was like the white kid from the suburb wants to dress like the rapper. The rapper wants to dress like the dope boy. The dope boy's getting the shit because the athlete has it on, right? And more often than not, the hood niggas is gonna make this shoe popular before anybody else.
Right.
You see the nigga with money on, with the money, he got the shit you want on, whatever sneaker it was. It's like, I want that sneaker. Right. And it might be a whack sneaker, might be a dope sneaker, who knows? But if that nigga that had the money put that shit on, and you see he got whatever you want, you're like, yeah, I need that sneaker because it's gonna make me look like him.
So what about the people that say like Jordans are immature?
I just did a video about that.
Yeah.
What Kanye said, you niggas wear suits because you can't dress no more, right? Hip-hop just turned 50, right? Hip-hop just turned 50. We are the first generation to make it into adulthood from hip-hop.
Yeah.
Right? We didn't create hip-hop. Right? We're not that generation. We're the generation that came after them.
Right.
So we're the first adults from hip-hop. Everything about us is hip-hop.
Yeah.
Everything. The way we articulate, the way we learn, the way we express ourselves, the way we dress, the way we engage in politics, the way we parent our children, the way we eat food. It's all influenced by hip-hop. Right? You can't tell me that sneakers are immature when you have a sitting senator, John Fetterman, that goes to the fucking White House in a hoodie. Don't chat to me about dress code and etiquette and immaturity, right? When you have Elon Musk coming into the White House pissing on decorum, wearing ball hats and all these other things. You don't check him about what he's wearing. No dress code and nothing like that. When those finance bros on Wall Street wearing Jordan 3s and Jordan 1s with their $20,000 suits, you didn't say anything to them. You didn't say anything to them at all.
So this ties back to that anti-black conversation.
When Topher Grace or a lot of these actors that have sneaker obsessions wear they shit. You look at one of my favorite, you think about Jerry Seinfeld. Seinfeld is a huge reason sneaker culture is the way it is. Huge reason, because of what he wore on the show. Seinfeld was 30-something in that show. Nobody said anything about him. If you go back and you look at some of the sitcoms that we grew up on in the 90s, doesn't Full House or Home Improvement, a lot of them big white shows, they had that shit on. Like they was wearing them shit. Like whomever was putting them in the costume department, they was putting them people in some shit. Right? They had to, but you didn't say anything about them. You didn't say anything about them, but when the Fresh Prince did it, it was verbose and it was loud and everything like that, right? What's important about that is, if you look at again about the anti-blackness of it, the difference between different shows was the design department, right? Fresh Prince had a design department. They had a costume budget, right? Martin didn't. Martin was like, I'm gonna wear shit from my wardrobe. So that created a rivalry between Will and Martin of who was gonna get the sneaker first, right? That spilled over to all the other things, right? Because Will and Martin were huge in the 90s, and then when they did Bad Boys, but that spilled over to all of the sitcoms. But Jerry Seinfeld was in there with the Jordan 6s, the Huaraches, all these other things, like, you know what I mean? Like all those sneakers he put out there. So when you circle it back to, oh, you're immature, you have to grow up out of Jordans. Why? Jordan's still wearing Jordans. Like Jordan damn near 70. He's still wearing Jordans, right? If Trump can create a sneaker, why do I have to stop wearing them?
That's the thing.
You know what I mean? Like, why do I have to stop wearing them? Like, what about this makes this immature? You know, like, there's literally an entire area of fashion was shifted around how pants sit on sneakers. You know what I mean? Like, so what it was like, I'll be honest with you, bro, like, I don't even own dress shoes. I don't own a single pair of dress shoes.
As you can see, I doom scroll a lot. Your posts always pop up.
Yeah, I don't wear a single pair of dress shoes.
I seen that you had a suit on.
Yeah.
And I think it might have been the same post. You was like, I would never wear or buy a pair of dress shoes.
My best friend got married in Toronto in 2019, 2018. His leader was like, you niggas is not wearing Jordans. Alex was like, can we wear Jordans after the ceremony? She was like, fuck it. So I had a pair of loafers for the first time ever there, but I brought my gold medal 14s.
The switch up.
The switch up, yes. He wore the gold medal 13s because his colors was like forest green, white, gold, and black. And I wore the gold medal 14s. Nice. So he wore the 13 low, the 11 low, and I wore the gold medal 14s.
I hate 11 lows.
Yeah, I'm not a fan either. But you know what I mean? Like, I wore the sneakers.
You know what? The Mexican Jordans.
The Mexican. Listen. Listen. Yeah, we're not wearing the Mexican mics. Yeah, but listen. So here's a funny story. So I think it was 3 seasons ago. Me, Jasiri, and David Banner, we at the Pirates game, right? So my man's the first base coach of the Pirates. Large up, my brother Tarek. And Pirates are doing very well right now. So we went to the Pirates game, and all three of us, I think I had on, me and Jasiri, I think we had on the, I had on the Thunder 4s, I think he had on the Thunder 4s, and I forget, Banner had on a pair of 4s, I can't remember which color. I gotta look at my phone. So we up on the third baseline. And so right with the city skyline. So we all got our feet up and I'm ready to take a picture. And there was this Mexican nigga next to us and he puts his feet up for the picture and he had a Mexican mic. So we was screaming. Me and Banner was screaming. Oh my God. I'll show you the picture.
Wow.
Shit is crazy. Oh my God. We was like, nigga, what are you doing? Like, he really thought he had that shit on. I was like, you know what, bro? I was like, I feel you. Like, yeah.
So for the audience that don't know, see if I can explain what I understand about it. Like the Mexican,
the Team Jordans, the 6 rings. Yeah.
So like the Jordans that came out after Jordan took over, the Jordan company, Jordan brand, took over. So there's retros, which are like the old style Jordans.
Yeah.
Which are being like redone, and some of them are like new colors and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But it's the specific style of shoe. And then when the Jordan brand took over, they have these brand new styles where they're trying to mix different shoes together.
So this was shortly after Jordan brand took over. But yeah, you had Team Jordan, and then you had like the fusions, right? The 6 rings and all these other things. Yeah, the Dub Zeros. But there was a time when those was popping. There was like, I remember Team Jordan was super hot when I was in junior high, because I think the 13 was the 13 was the first Jordan branded sneaker. But it was like officially a Jordan brand release was the 13.
I thought it was the 14.
It was the 13.
13?
Yeah, the 13. Yeah,
because I like the 13.
I love the 13. My favorite shoe of all time is the He Got Game 13. Right? I bought that every year it's ever come out. But yeah, so like the Team Jordans though, they was going up with like when Nick Van Axel had his shit, like yo, Nick the Quick, like everybody wanted the Pro Strong, the Pro Quick. Those shits went up in the 90s. Like those was just as popular, if not more sometimes, than the mainline Jordan shit. Like Team, because Roy Jones had a pair, Derek Jeter had his shit, right? Everybody had, So
when did they go out of style?
When the culture shifted, man, I would say, I would probably say like 03. 03 is when they started kind of getting whacked. That was like those middle aughts into the early 10s was a really weird year for Jordans. Like, so that was a weird era for them in general.
That's and they really trying to push them Spizikes.
Come back. I remember when the Spizikes first came out. I had the Kings County and the Pop Arts.
So those are re-releases?
Yeah, those are re-releases. Yeah. I used to love them. I used to love the Spizikes, man. I had 2 pairs. Like I said, the Kings County and the Pop Art. Those are my shit. Yeah.
And a lot of them be like similar prices, like in the 200 range.
And then they drop immediately. Yeah, they'll sit on the shelves forever until they end up at outlets.
Yeah. So single moms, if you're trying to buy your kids some Jordans, ask for retros when you go to school.
Yeah.
Unless you want to embarrass your kid. I did that to my daughter. I bought her.
She was right tight.
I don't think she knew until the kids at her school pointed it out.
Yeah.
Like, to her, it was just Jordans.
She's like, yo, what this nigga put me in, man?
I got her a pair of 6 rings. And they look like 11s to me. I couldn't tell the difference.
I keep them clean, though. I get mad. Why you do that to that baby? Why you do that to that baby?
And then I put her in a pair of reps, and I'm sure that...
they fired her up. Yeah. Golly.
My bad, baby girl.
But you got 8 children, though, so...
Yeah. You gotta
do what you can. You get what you get, and you don't throw a fit.
Hey.
You know what I mean?
So this is going to be a wild segue.
Yeah.
Probably not a segue at all. But you sent me your project that you're working on.
Yeah.
I had a chance to listen to a decent amount of it.
Yeah.
And the message you said when you sent it was kind of like, I want to talk about it, but this is what I'm working on.
Yeah.
So as I'm listening to it, I'll give you everything that ran through my mind.
Yeah. There's a very rough version of it.
Yeah. This is a very rough articulation of my assessment. So first it was like, oh shit, this is dope. It's not mixed perfect, but it sounds good.
Yeah.
Lyrically, he still got it.
Oh yeah, and that's never gonna change.
I'm just giving you the whole chain of thoughts. Right?
Yeah.
He's a grown man. He's still making music.
Yeah.
This is dope. What is this? A love song?
Yeah.
Okay.
It's all love songs.
Next song, it's another love song. Next song. So immediately I started thinking about the dude just like sitting in the corner on the phone, like hey boo, like kind of like the dude that you.
Yeah. So
wait.
Yeah. Go ahead.
So as I'm getting more and more through it, it struck me how vulnerable you were. It hit me. I identified with it. That it almost felt like there was something inside you that was maybe evaluating yourself.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah.
And looking into your previous relationships, kind of analyzing, maybe accepting some responsibility in the situations.
I mean, you definitely got to finish the project now after we talk about it. Yeah.
I heard a grown man in a growth period that is taking a moment to self-reflect.
Yeah.
And like, I don't know your personal life or anything.
Yeah, of course.
But I feel like there's something in there in terms of your love life where maybe you're dealing with something personally and it's like, I need to grow.
Yeah.
In speaking to you today, like all the way up to now, one of the main questions I want to ask is like, do you feel you're a scholar? And I say that because any topic we dive into, you're like giving me the whole history of it.
Yeah.
Like you just...
I'm a Virgo, so it's like...
sit around reading library books all day.
Yeah.
But that gives a little bit more insight into how you might assess yourself.
Yeah, that's great, yeah.
And how this album came to be and what you might be going through that would make you put this art together.
Yeah. So to take a step back, I started rapping again after my mom died, right? I needed like a catharsis. I needed just like to get the things out. I didn't care like what happened to it. You know what I mean? It did okay. Like this was my first rap out. It was the first time rapping in 10 years. Actually 11. It was the first time rapping in 11 years. And I just put some things together. There's a project called The Kid with the Golden Arms. And it did okay. Like it did fine, whatever. It kind of came and went because of COVID, right? And Jasiri was kind of pressing me to start rapping again. And some of my other friends that's in the industry were like, yo, you should, this wasn't bad. You got to get the rust off. But like, yo, you know what I mean? This was a pretty good first effort.
Yeah.
And I know we didn't talk about a lot about me being in the industry. We talked about leading up to it. I had a modest run in the blog era. You know what I mean? I did pretty well for myself, all things considered. I think everybody's metric of success is a little different. My thing was I wrote a lot of big records. So that's what helped me. Like I wrote some big records. So that helped me out. You know what I mean? Like that put me next to people so that I wrote really big records. I won't say one big record. The rest of them were good records. Like the Win Up, you know what I mean? There's 4 total. But I put out an album in 2022 called Revolutionary but Gorgeous. And it was kind of like what I was dealing with in the activism space and everything else. And I was in a really difficult time because of everything that was happening politically, everything that was happening with me internally, and everything that was happening in my work life, which is my personal life. There's no separation of the two, right? As has been evident this whole conversation, everything is personal to me. Right. So this project, Revolutionary but Gorgeous, was just a narrative of everything I was dealing with, from the work I was dealing with to the politics to emotionally growing and no longer wanting to go out and just shoot shit and everything, but just like actually talk about things. It was still a political album. Like everybody knew me for like conscious hip hop, but it was a very vulnerable album and a very reflective album from like an adult contemporary space. And on the last song, it's called Inshallah, I talk about losing my daughter, right? So my ex and I, our daughter passed in December 2025, or 2020, right? Thank you. So that changed everything, how I looked at life, everything. So after I put out Revolutionary but Gorgeous, it actually did like very well for me, right? It did, like I started making money off rap again, which was crazy. Like people started like asking for my old stuff to be uploaded into iTunes and everything. So I was like, oh, and then like I started getting like, you know, royalty checks started coming back in from older records, right? And I don't know if those two causation, I don't know if those two things related, but it just kind of happened. And I was like, well, maybe I should be rapping again seriously, right? I ended up writing like 2 more records for some guys. They published them, and I was like, oh, okay, so I can, you know, I'm cool right now. Rap no longer is a primary objective for me. I don't have to rap to live. Like that chapter is closed. I rap because I like doing it, and it's fun to get that stuff out, right? I don't need to rap to live. I have a career and I have everything else. What led me into where we are right now was when I first got signed to a major, they wanted me to be an R&B singer. They wanted me to be like an LL Cool J, Ja Rule, Nelly type, right? And I never wanted to because I was like, no, I'm a rapper's rapper. I rap. Like you sign me off a bet. You know what I do. Like I was, you know, right? But I always wrote R&B, and I had a lot of good R&B records. And I, you know, had a huge record in Canada called Miss 416.
Are you singing on that hook?
Yeah.
On the song I listened? I thought it was.
Yeah, I got one singer, 2 singers on there, but I wrote everything. Okay. I wrote everything. So I started getting into, my ex and I got out of this relationship, and we were together for a very long time. And one thing we would always do was send songs to each other to express how we were feeling in the absence of words.
Right.
And you know how like on like Apple Music, you can just send the lyrics, like a specific lyric?
Yeah.
That's what we would do.
Okay.
And I said something one day, I was like, man, I wish I could send her lyrics, but like I don't, like my girl records ain't on streaming, right? The girl records that I put out, like Miss 416 and You Don't See What I See, and some of these other records, they weren't on streaming, so I had to hurry up and get them on streaming. So I was just sending other people's lyrics to her. And I was like, well, I need to say things in my own words. So we ended up breaking up, and I took it super hard, like super, super hard. So I locked myself in this, like, not in the studio, but like in a room, and just started writing out all my feelings. Wherever I was going, whether I was on a plane, it was a hotel, wherever, I started writing feelings out. And I was like, let me just make them songs. You know what I mean? I had all this production, whatever. So I created this entire synopsis of my relationship from a very adult perspective. That was about accountability. That was about male vulnerability. That was about heartbreak, because men don't talk about those things in rap, right? We talk about bitches and all these other things and, you know, twerking and all these other things, but like, where's the vulnerable rap records about men, right? But we're not singing them, right? We all grown now. We've all had heartbreak. We've all had love we lost, love we wish we didn't get into. You know what I mean? We've all had, why don't we rap about it, right? Why don't we rap about it? Right. So I put out this EP last summer called Don't Worry, That's Part of the Furniture. And it was like, oh, it like, I hit a thing. It was like 4 records, and it was crazy. And I did this freestyle that was completely separate over Butterflies by Isaiah Falls. And I put it out and did like a quick iPhone video with just like something and put it on my IG. And like, people started hitting me, it was like, yo, you're on my Spotify. like out of nowhere. There's like, yo, you're on my Spotify. Like you're on my Spotify. And it was like, oh, maybe the R&B route was the right way to go the whole time.
Right.
Like and so I put this album together, still untitled, but this album is literally just like, there's actual, in the rhymes, it's actually conversations her and I had. And I, instead of changing her words, because I wanted her words to be accurate, I just found a way to rhyme her sentence into the next bar. So a lot of these things, so it's almost like, I don't want to say she ghost wrote it, but she would get a production credit, she would get a writing credit because of her words and that I'm rapping.
Wow.
So a lot of these things, it's like, I'm talking about accountability, so I have to now put myself in her shoes.
Right.
Of all the shit that I put her through. And vice versa. And the thing is, like, we wasn't speaking to each other at all. And I started sending her the records. I started like, this one's about you, this one's about you, this one's about you, right? And then I started, once I got in the creative space, I was able to call upon all the meaningful relationships that I ever had in my life. Oh, I remember when I was 25, she made me feel like this.
Right.
Well, we're typing rhymes now. You know what I mean? So I'm Twitter fingering my rhymes down, right? And I'm like, yeah. So I'm just calling back things, and I'm just like in this creative space where like talking about women is so easy. You know, like me being who I am, looking how I look, women was always one of the hugest part of my lives.
Yeah.
Like, you know what I mean? Everything. Sometimes I didn't wake up until I knew what women around me was doing.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So I was like, how can I get into this wild, accountable thing where I'm not just objectifying women like other rappers are? Right? I do enough of that in my personal life. Forgive me, ladies, forgive me. But I have this line where I say protect black women, but I'm breaking their hearts. Like, you know what I mean? Like, that's the type of accountability I'm talking about on there. Like, yeah, like, I can say all this shit, talk about black women's maternal health and protect black women, but here I am cheating on black women, right?
Yeah.
Here I am lying to black women. Here I am, you know what I mean? Not being faithful and disrespecting black women in a relationship. That make me look wild suspect.
Did you have an aha moment?
Oh, absolutely. Bruv, every song was an aha moment. But it also gave me clarity of, we look at relationships as toxicity is just one person. It's a two-way street.
Yeah.
Reciprocity is a two-way street. Accountability is a two-way street.
Yeah.
But we might define those things different.
Yeah.
We have different experiences with each other. So you and I, you're in a relationship with somebody, you both experience that relationship together, but you have two completely different reasons why that relationship ended. Her version, your version, right?
Yeah.
And that doesn't, they're feelings.
Yeah.
You both experienced things, but you felt different things about it. And that's what this is about. Like, this whole project, it leads into the first line of the song the first line of the album, I feel like I'm 40 and divorced and nothing to show for it. Who can't relate to that?
Right.
Right? I'm feeling like I'm 40 and divorced and nothing to show for it, right? And then the last line of the album is, when the sun goes down, I'ma still miss you. I just love you way too much for me to deal with you. That's the first bar of the album and the last bar. There's only like 13 songs.
Right.
Right? So it's just about, what does it mean to be, we don't talk about black love in those situations in rap. We got soul music and we got R&B, and that's great. And that's why, so I started writing this album in 2024.
Okay.
The middle of 24, like around September, August of 24. I started writing it, and I got it mostly done by 25. And when I heard Wale put out his latest project, Everything Is a Lot, I was like, this is what men need right here. Cause like, this album was
us though, like the late 30s,
early 40s, yeah.
Yeah.
To talk about heartbreak, right? Like, I talked about losing my daughter in a record. Wale talked about that, right? And I use Wale as a metric for a lot of this stuff now, because like, he's really like the first one out the gate that was doing it. You know, we all, you know, Wale had great girl records, great, amazing girl records, right? There's not a lot of rappers that have had amazing girl records. They've had good club records.
Yeah,
But Wale does it in a very, and we can talk about this offline too, but like Wale does it in a very unique way. And when I was putting my album together, I didn't send it to no men. I didn't send this album to no men.
Is that because of the cultural, like the manly dynamic?
Not even. I just wanted to hear what women was gonna say. I wanted and you know what? It's interesting that you heard it the way you heard it. Because you know how women told me, it was like, yo, you were really a toxic nigga. Experience.
Yeah.
They was like, yo, like, I mean, I've had some women, I had some women I sent this to, like, I wouldn't say this. I would say this.
Huh.
I'll be like, thank you. You know what I mean? So I sent this project almost to all exclusively women. I just recently started sending it to men. Just to hear what they got to say. Like my man and his girl was going for a breakup. I was like, yo, do me a favor. I want you two to both listen to this. And he was telling me what she said. She was like, this is how you trap me, by talking to me like this, because this is manipulative shit. So now I had to go back and rewrite lyrics, because I'm like, well, I don't want to seem like I'm this fucking awful manipulator, but that's kind of who I was in this relationship.
Bro, when I listened to it, it sounded like I could have wrote those lyrics.
Yeah.
Like
I wanted it to be so.
story.
That's why it was a conversation. Like the album really is a conversation. Like on the outros, I'm reading her text messages as an outro on certain songs. Yeah. I had another friend of mine. She's a comedian, right? Read her text message as an intro. Like this is what she said. I was like, can you give me like 5 different takes of this so I can like piece it together and get the best take of it?
Yeah.
Right. So there was like real shit in this project that's like, yo, it's just text messages that I turned into raps, right? Because it was like, yo, this is reality. Like what adult our age hasn't had their heart broken or broke someone's heart, cheated on or been or you know what I mean, or been cheated on.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like who hasn't experienced that? And I think one of the biggest things is like there's a line in one of the songs that's like, we don't talk about cheating over lack of, like men cheat because sometimes we have low self-esteem, lack of self-worth, right? So I said something like, I had to look at her face after she felt hurt and I realized I'm cheating because of lack of self-worth. Right? Like we don't talk about that aspect of vulnerability in there.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So that's what this project is like. Yo, my man left he has an outro on there where he's like, strong niggas getting ghosted is hilarious. He's like, you wrote it down. He's like, you were a strong nigga and you got ghosted. You wrote it down. You went to the studio and recorded it. That's hilarious, right? But you know, because like you think about me, no one ever think like, you know, like she ghosted me on my birthday. That fucked me up, man. I wrote like 5 records about this. I was like, what the fuck is wrong with you?
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
That is a level to tell that publicly.
Yeah.
People hear it. That is a level of vulnerability that, like for me specifically,
Yeah.
I could not, like now I probably could. I have conversations like that with my bros, but like 10 years ago, there's no way I would publicly say that.
Right. So this project initially started about one person. Then it became about relationships.
Yeah.
Then it became about me.
So each song,
Yeah.
is it just like a combination of just relationships?
There's certain songs that are specific to one person.
Okay.
And
But overall, the project is, like you said,
it's ambiguous. Yeah, it's ambiguous. But like, there's only 2 people this ever could have been about, right? Now there's lines of things that happened about other people that I put in there because it sounded good.
Yeah.
Right? There's other shit where it's like, this didn't happen at all. But my biggest inspiration sonically for it was Ghostface's Wizard of Poetry album, or Emerald City Wizard of Poetry, where it's just like the whole album is just a rap R&B record. And I remember I was like, yo, I'm like, if anybody's gonna do this, it was gonna be Ghost. And I was like, this was like my best attempt to try to not redo it, but like offer up something in the same vein. Because next to Nas, Ghost is my favorite rapper of all time.
You know what I'm thinking now? First we got the R&B, like the people want you to be
R&B singer, yeah.
From Toronto, the original Drake, pre-Drake.
So Here's the thing about this, and for people watching. Record industries hire you for a job. When you're a rapper, when you're a singer, you have a job.
Yeah.
You are an entertainer. You're a recording artist. That is your job. When you fill out your taxes, that's your job, right?
Yeah.
They have roles. We need a shift manager. We need a program director. We're looking for an executive director. We're looking for a janitor. We're looking for, you get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It's no different on a record label.
Yeah.
We want a hardcore rapper, because that's hard right now. 50 Cent just got shot 9 times and went diamond. We need to replicate that immediately.
Yeah.
The South is popping. We need the biggest rappers on the South.
Yeah.
This is popping. We need this. We don't have this yet. But Ja Rule's doing very well for himself. Nelly went diamond. Herms. What can we do?
Nah, man.
And there's think tanks, there's focus groups that create these personas.
Yeah.
Now, I'm not saying Drake is a persona, but I'm saying they had that prototype and they were looking for someone to fill those shoes.
Yeah.
Because there were people who showed that there was a market for that type of thing.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And the moment that you find someone, and especially if they're commercially viable, appealing, the women love it. Oh man, come on.
Yeah. It's a wrap.
Come on, it's over with. You know what I mean? So I just would like, you know what I mean? That's the thing. Like when we get into the music industry, like, you know, sometimes we have ideals and we have ideas. Right? And I was more of an idealist. I was arrogant. You know, I was by myself. I didn't have anybody to tell me this wasn't the move I was making. So, you know, hindsight is 20/20.
Yeah.
You know, but but like, you know, the Drake prototype existed. Like every label wanted a Drake, even in the early aughts.
Yeah.
But Nelly was the first one to kind of like, especially when Dilemma dropped. Oh my God, Nelly and Kelly.
Yeah.
That shit, like
That was the thing.
then you got LL and J-Lo right after that.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like there was a reason, because who did it before Nelly and Kelly? Meth and Mary.
Yeah.
They was trying to get that the whole way. They wanted the whole, like, believe me, A&Rs were trying to get albums of that. They was trying to get full. That's why Ja and Ashanti worked so well.
Right. Right.
Right? That because of that prototype.
Yeah, because I forgot when it was that I learned this, but rap is considered, or at least now commercial rap is considered a form of pop music.
Yeah.
Where they wanted it like to make it more poppy.
Yeah.
To reach, like,
Especially with social media.
how can we take this black hood gangsta artist and turn them into something that we can sell to white America?
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, and that's always been the idea. It's the record business.
Yeah.
You get me? Like, it's the record business. So it's like, how do we sell records? We're in the business of selling records, first and foremost. So we have to make this a return on investment. How do we do it? Well, there's images, there's endorsements, there's storytelling, there's brand development, all these other things that go into marketing an artist, right? Like, there's a fair amount of luck for all artists. Like, you have to be there at the right time, at the right place. And even then, sometimes it's not enough, right? They always say the easiest thing in the music industry is make a hit record. That's easy. Do it again.
Right.
Do it again. Do it again. Can you make the people still want to hear you after 10 hit records?
Right.
They will buy your albums. What makes that interesting? How you curate your interviews, your music videos, your social media, your personality, your clothes. All of that is like a factor of, success.
Right.
So when you find someone who can put it in a cup, stir it all up, and get someone to drink it, man, you never let go of that person.
How do you reconcile, like, in your mind, that you never became that Drake or whatever?
That was a tough pill to swallow. That was a really tough pill to swallow, because I remember when I was leaving the music industry, and I think this is a good point that we can put a bow on this to land this plane. I remember getting dropped from my first label, right? And that was more not about me and more about a label situation. We could talk about this offline. I don't like dropping names, and I know everybody tunes into these interviews for the name drops.
Yeah.
It's not what I do.
Yeah, definitely not a thing here.
Yeah, yeah, but anyway, so I get dropped off the label because they were acquiring a lot of smaller labels. If you could fill in the time slot, you know when this is and you know what the label was. That was the best thing that happened to me because I was able to keep everything I recorded at that label. So I started doing a lot of other things and writing, and it looked like I was getting primed for success. I was getting all the right placements, HipHop DX, Two Dope Boys, All Hip Hop, MTVU, Channel U in the UK, Much Music in Canada. Like, I'm everywhere, right? All you had to do is Google Ayatollah Jackson. I'm there, like, you know what I mean? One of my biggest fears is success, right? I'm terrified of success because then people expect things from you, right? So I started getting cold feet about the industry, and I remember how fucking miserable I started getting when I started learning how the politics were. Like how once you see behind the curtain and it's not the Wizard of Oz, it's just a guy in a suit pulling levers.
Yeah.
Right? I started getting really disenchanted with the music industry. And I was, for all intents and purposes, by all prospects, I was ready to, you know what I mean? I had placements with rapper A, B, and C. I remember I had an opportunity to get, we can talk about these other things, but my album Hello Hip Hop did really well for me. Like as an independent artist in a blog era when I was competing against guys with $1 million deals that were paying for blog advertisements, I'm there with them, just a click below. You know what I mean? So I'm fighting and it's just me and my friends trying to get, so when I started getting disenchanted with it, it took about a year or two to really just break me. And I was like, man, I'm not cut out for this. I had a publicist steal some money from me. I had a manager steal some money from me. And as we said at the beginning of the interview, the environment I come from, you getting shot. You can't shoot a manager. You can't shoot a publicist. You know what I mean? You can't do that. Even though the money would justify how much, you know what I mean? At least 2 bullets. You can't do that. So I remember one day, you remember DJ Chevy?
Yeah, he was the first person I interviewed.
Had a conversation with DJ Chevy, right? And I was talking to him like me and you were talking, and I was griping. I was just bitching about the industry. Mm-hmm. And Chevy said to me, he looked at me just like you look at me, ain't nobody making you do this. Ain't nobody making you do this. If you're that miserable, quit.
That's definitely a Chevy statement.
And I was like, I got up from the couch, and I was like, you're right. And I quit that night. I had a record deal on the table, a nice deal. Left it. It's like, I'm done. I'm taking my ball, I'm going home. Remember with Cartman, screw you guys, I'm going home. That was me. I was just I went home. And I left the deal on the table. I left the whole, and I actually had an R&B album done. Mm-hmm. Had an R&B album done, finished. It was crazy. Left it. I was like, you guys can keep it. I don't even want it. Here's your advance. Don't give me, I'm done. And that was it. And I just stopped. So fast forward a year or two, I remember there was a spin on MTV. I was at my place and I was watching MTV one day when they still showed music videos, and I seen 3 niggas I had songs with back to back to back, and I was livid. I was like, I'm nice, and I'm like, oh, and the songs was whack. The songs was fucking whack, and I was so bitter. I was so upset. I stopped listening to rap for years. Only old shit, you know what I mean? I only listen to R&B. And a couple of the artists I checked in on, you know what I mean, whatever. And I remember watching all these artists get these things, and I remember someone said to me sometime long ago, it's a paraphrasing of Fred Hampton, Chairman Fred, but the revolutionary never lives to see the revolution.
Yeah.
And sometimes it does not pay to be first. It very rarely benefits to be the pioneer or something.
Right.
And there was a lot of niggas that started rapping the way I rap because I was the first one to do it in a lot of these spaces. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. So, especially in that early blog era, again, you Google me, I was next to a lot of these guys, and and some of them were opening for me at shows. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So yeah, and it was just one of the things that the music industry is a very cruel space, is a very cruel business. And it really fucked me up for a long time. And I just made peace with it. Like the thing is, I wanted to be a superstar until I seen what went into being a superstar.
Yeah.
So I was okay with that not happening. I was not okay with being unceremoniously discredited from a lot of things. That was because I didn't understand the business. Right, and that would be my thing to anybody that's like specifically now, learn the fucking business, man. Learn it. I was never bitter that I was not the first person to put Toronto on, or the second person, because Cardi did it first. I was not bitter that I wasn't Drake. I loved everything Drake brought to Toronto. I loved seeing all the popularity that Toronto got because of OVO Fest and the Raptors when they won the championship, and you know, all these other things. People loving our slang now, people loving our colors, people begging for the Raptors to retro the Dino jersey. The Vince Carter documentary that came out, people finding out about Carabana, even though you fucking Americans ruined Carabana. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I loved all those things that Drake brought to Toronto, and all the work that the MCs behind Toronto rallied behind Drake for. Right? I loved all those things. So I was never bitter that wasn't me. I was just, like I said, a lot of the rooms that I was in, and a lot of this had to do with my attitude. People acted like I never was in those rooms to begin with.
That part.
You know what I mean? So like, I remember, here's how I'm gonna land this plane. My bad, this is your show.
No,
but,
do you think?
I got into a car crash when I left the music industry. And Drake had this line where he was like, certain rappers would call me to say what up though. I used to chat about it to my friends, and I realized all of them niggas cutthroat, and maybe that's all they do is just pretend, right? I remember I got in this car crash after I left the music industry. I totaled my Jeep, a drunk driver hit me. None of the rappers I knew was calling to check on me. All the famous rappers that I was, no emails, no how you doing. I deactivated my socials. You know what I mean? I was hurt.
Yeah.
I was like, oh, these niggas really don't care about you. It's just like, you're valuable until you're not. I took that very personally.
Yeah.
Like, I took that very personally. Because it was like rappers I loved. I still can't listen to this day. You know what I mean? I'm like, yo, it's like, you know, one of you met my mom when she was still alive. You know what I mean? Like, yeah, so like, rappers, it was like, oh, you know, my label didn't give me my advance. I got you, we'll go out to dinner, I got it.
Yeah.
That shit. You know what I mean? Them ones.
Yeah.
You get me? You know them ones. So I was like, oh, okay. Okay. So I was like, oh, that was like the confirmation that I was done with rap. So it was like, I don't want to say grand opening, but definitely grand closing. And I was like, I'm not going to give my life to this shit. There's a whole bunch of other shit I'd rather die for. The opinions of other people is not one of them. So when I left the music industry, it was very bitter. It was with a massive chip on my shoulder. But it's interesting now because when we as an organization bring in a lot of these rappers and a lot of these people, they be like, yo, what's Jax doing? Jax still in Pittsburgh? Jax and Jasiri still rocking together? Let's go check them out. Like, 2 years ago, Kweli came here and he performed at City Winery.
Okay.
And Kweli, yo, large up Talib, he was like, yo, he's like, I know him as Jax. He's like, what Farooq? So he started everybody calling me because for whatever reason, they told Talib I was gonna be at City Winery with him performing. I had just got off the plane for my birthday. Like, I had just got back in town. I just got back from Colombia. And Talib, they phoned me like, yo, Talib's a City Winery, like, calling for you. I'm like, yo, tell that nigga I said thank you, but I'm tired, I'm going to sleep. But that, I felt appreciated for that. You know what I mean? Like, when people come to the city and check in, like, when we bring in Fat Joe, right? See Joe is love, right? We bring in a lot of other guys, you know, they come in, we brought the Locks in for the anniversary of hip-hop. The Locks was love. You know what I mean? Seeing a lot of these niggas that we had built up relationships with for one reason or another, you know what I mean? It's love when I see them. You know, we bring in David Banner, we bring in Lupe Fiasco, we bring in a lot of these other guys for other people to appreciate. Yeah. But it's just like, okay, it's love on a lot of those aspects. That's only a handful of people. A lot of these other niggas, it ain't like that. You know what I mean? So I was like, I'm not gonna break my back for guys. Pause. That was crazy. You know what I mean? For the exceptions of people that ain't feeding me.
You partially from New York, so I gotta let the slang rock.
You know what I mean? But yeah.
You reminded me of a situation that I went through, and I've said his name before, but I won't drop it again. I kind of left it alone, but he's a very big guy.
Mm-hmm. Pause. That's crazy. That's this nigga. Wow. You hear this nigga?
This fucking New York shit. He's a very famous guy.
Yeah, influential.
There you go. Top of hip-hop, like, just very popular, rich, just the guy.
I got you.
There was a time where I was literally, like, sleeping on his couch. Mm-hmm. Like, it was my bro. So there was a point in his career, in my career, where we were texting and talking, and like he sent me the artists he was working with and stuff, and we were cool. And one day I was down really, really bad, like financially, and I'm like, bro, like I will move to where you at and like fetch coffee for you, like please, just something. Yeah. He changed his number, basically blocked me, and I ain't heard nothing from him since.
This is a cruel game. This is a very unforgiving game, right? And it is not a game that promotes longevity. It's not any of them things. You know what I mean? Like it's a game that's very much, what have you done for me lately? What are you doing for me right now? And can you do that for me tomorrow? Because if not, I could find it for cheaper.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So the industry is very much a heartbreak that's waiting to happen, because it will come.
Look, I'm taking notes for the next time we get to talk about this, because rabbit holes.
Yeah. There's a whole bunch of things we could talk about. Yeah, man. But the music industry was, that I would say the music industry was my biggest heartbreak up until losing my daughter. Yeah, that was hands down, because the music industry left me with just such a massive chip on my shoulder that I was just like, I felt so powerless. You know what I mean? But what can you do against contracts?
Right.
What can you do against a guy legally stealing from you?
Right.
What can you do against, someone that's just like doing foul business that like you can't, I totally get why NWA ain't winning baseball bats. I get why Suge Knight hung niggas outside of, by their pants legs.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Makes sense now, right?
Yeah, 1,000%. Like, because like you dealing with street niggas. Yeah. Right? Like, they do that shit in Hollywood all the time. Like, Hollywood was built by gangsters.
And not even just that. There's a difference between, like, when you're dealing with family, there's a dynamic of love and appreciation so much that certain things just are like a sign of disrespect, where there's some people that, because you're familiar, I'm going to take advantage of you.
Yeah.
But then at the same time, the opposite is true when you're dealing with people outside of your family.
1,000%.
Where they navigate in such a way where corporate America and capitalism is like, feels disrespectful. Like, we just ate dinner together and this is how you talking to me? This is how you going to treat me?
Yes. As a matter of fact, I am. Right? And that's it. So I know I said it was going to land the plane, but this is how I want to end this, because I think this would also be a good clip. Success in hip hop is subjective. And I think we only relegate it to performance. Right? But there's so many different venues, right? Who makes more money, the rapper or the rapper who's signed to the rapper, or who signed the rapper? You know what I mean? Like, the CEO is gonna make more money than the rapper.
Of course.
You know what I mean? Every hip hop is still paying my bills. I get a royalty check here and there. That's fine. It doesn't, it's not like they used to be, right? I might get like a $30 royalty check. I might get like a 3-cent royalty check. I might fuck around and get one that's like, I think I got one for like $1,700 one time. I was like, oh, $1,700. Wow. That's rent. That's rent, some dinner and some other things. Let's go.
Like, is that like ASCAP or just straight royalties from the label?
ASCAP.
Okay.
Yeah. So I was like, oh, we can, you know what I mean? So I was like, oh, all right. Like, when my label, when the independent label I was on folded, they actually gave me like a prorated thing. They sent me like a golden parachute.
Okay.
So I was like, oh, thank you. Like Chrome, thank you. Everything, rap still pays all my bills. all the activism and all the things I know, but this is what people hear. Everything One Hood does, we do everything. All of our engagement is through the lens of hip hop. Everything is through the lens of hip hop. We activate through hip hop. We bring hip hop culture to every single space we're in, right? I could sit down on CNN. I could sit down with the governor, with Governor Shapiro. I could sit down with a congressperson, the mayor, anybody, and I could dap them up. They recognize, I'll tell you a story about afterwards, but like, rap's still paying my bills, right? I'm not an active participant in rap culture, but in hip hop I am. You know what I mean?
Right.
Because I'm still doing this.
Yeah.
Right? Clip this. They did the Pittsburgh Hip Hop Hall of Fame.
Yeah.
That pissed a lot of people off.
It did.
I get it. There was no reason I should have been on there. I'm not from Pittsburgh. And I'm on there twice. One Hood and as myself.
Right.
Right? I could have just been on there with One Hood and that'd have been fine for me. Right? There was all these think pieces about who should have been on there, who shouldn't have been on there, who the committee was that approved people. One Hood had nothing to do with the selection process for the Pittsburgh Hip Hop Hall of Fame. Thank you very much. Nor did we endorse it, pay for it, or co-sign it. We were just happy to be there. When I see my name on there, they debuted it on the day of hip hop, is the day we brought the locks.
Yeah.
The first thing I said was, where's Jimmy Wapo? Long live Wapo, my brother.
He wasn't on there?
Was not on there. I would be more than happy if they took my name off and put Jimmy Wapo's name on there, because that's where it deserves to be.
Right.
Right? However, in the course of Pittsburgh hip hop history, right, all the people who felt left off, let's have the honest and accountable thing. Were you big in your neighborhood, or were you big in the city? Were you big outside the city? Right? Regardless, there are other cities besides Pittsburgh.
Right.
Right? The small-mindedness of this was the reason that a lot of the people from our generation in the Pittsburgh hip-hop scene never seen even an iota of success that they thought they believed, because they never seen the forest from the trees. Right? They weren't able to, it was so me-centric. There was no we-centric of that. Now, there was always a thing, right? But the Pittsburgh Hip Hop Hall of Fame showed that there were so many people doing this before and after you.
Right.
How are you able to stay relevant and produce something that yields fruit? This is yielding fruit.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
One Hood is yielding fruit. Other entities and institutions in Pittsburgh entertainment, how are they yielding fruit? What are they bearing for black people, right? You're putting on a situation where you say you're taking, I believe at the beginning you said successful, not successful, or unsung and...
Yeah, so bridging the gaps, basically.
Right, right. There's a lot of spaces that these people wouldn't have been in before that may have done something monumental or at least instrumental in developing something.
Right.
Right? That's the type of thing. Like, are you running anything, or are you still bitter about something that you did 15 years ago that didn't get credit? Right? How are you putting that into application in the future today? So, like, a lot of people's lives ended when the Shadow Lounge closed.
Right.
That's not my problem.
So are you saying like the selfishness in it?
Yeah. Like I mean, rap's a contact sport. It's a selfish sport, right?
Yeah.
But what have you done? Like, you could say, oh, I put on for the... What did you do, though? What does that look like?
Right.
You can't just give me baseless claims without receipts. Selling records is not a receipt. Selling records is a tax return.
Right.
What did you do? Right? Did you shift the slang? Did you shift the culture? Did you, how did you, you know, that's all quantifiable stuff. We can go back and look at it. Right? We can run the tape. Right? We know about Tuffy Tuff. I knew about Tuffy Tuff in Toronto. We played Tuffy Tuff on Much Music in Toronto. I told him that when I met him. I was like, I knew this song before I knew what Pittsburgh was because of you.
That's crazy.
You know what I mean?
Shout out Tuffy. I got him scheduled right now.
Oh, good, beautiful. Yeah, yeah. Make sure you tell him I said this too. Yeah. Like, yeah, he'll remember and I've only met Tuff once.
Yeah.
I've only met Tuff once. Yeah, it was the Locks show. You know what I mean? But yeah, I told him, it was like, I heard that song in Toronto. You know what I mean? Because that was our shit. It was like, yo, the Jamaican shit, like that was our shit. Yeah. But anyway, just like, I did not belong on the Pittsburgh Hip Hop Hall of Fame. You hear that from me? I didn't belong there. Jimmy Wapo absolutely should have been there. But if I'm being fair, he was the only person I would have taken above me.
My feelings about it was, I was a little salty I wasn't on there.
I didn't know you weren't.
But I understood why I wasn't.
Okay.
But I also felt like there were people that I learned from that helped to create a Kalaj Dame that took me and, helped my career that weren't on there.
Yeah.
And it was like, before you even get to the conversation of whether or not I deserve on there, what about the people I learned from?
Yeah.
That helped pioneer this that weren't on.
And I also think it speaks to how fragmented the scene was.
That.
It also, because there was a lot of names on there. There was like 4 pillars. There was 4 pillars that had names.
Yeah.
And some people was like, oh, the font wasn't big enough for my name. My name was super small.
Now that's crazy.
Yeah, I was like, you're on there, right? It doesn't matter. But like, no, I think that it speaks to like how fragmented the scene was and the reason why there needs to be like some type of documentation of it.
So this is like super top secret. Y'all don't tell nobody. But I'm using this platform to try to catalog.
Like archival stuff.
Exactly.
Yeah.
We're having a conversation with you about your history and your relation to Pittsburgh hip hop. Yeah. And then I spoke to Franchise. Franchise I just did last week.
Yeah.
Who else did I do? Choreo, Black Steel. Matter of fact, Black Steel's releasing this Saturday.
Okay, yeah.
So
good brother.
Yeah.
He's the only one I know out of those 3.
Really?
Yeah.
You know Choreo. I'm sure you know Choreo.
Maybe.
JSP, Justice Street Poets?
I remember the name. Yeah, but I know Black Steel personally though. That's what I mean. Like that's what I mean. Yeah.
So the idea, this is not a hip hop podcast.
Right.
I am hip hop.
Yeah.
And hip hop is my network. So I'm using this as, let's just say, like I'll create a playlist, website or whatever, where we create like a tree of, this is Pittsburgh hip hop. This is, these are the proteges of this person. The tree of this person branches here, and as much as I can to try to document things.
Yeah. I got you.
I don't know how it's going to work out, but it's really interesting. I'm learning a lot. Pretty dope from this angle.
I got some ideas for you offline.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Definitely. We'll talk. Last question for you.
Yeah.
Do you feel you're successful?
Again, success is subjective.
I know. That's
success is subjective. You also asked me, do I feel like I'm a scholar? No,
yes.
I do not feel like I'm a scholar. I feel like I'm an informed individual.
What's the difference?
Scholars, I'm a scholar. They're arrogant. They're pretentious.
So someone else can call you a scholar, but you can't say it about yourself.
I'm not. Yeah,
I'll take that.
I ain't Hove. I just know what I know. You know what I mean? Am I successful? I'm fortunate. Yeah, I'm fortunate. We're all fortunate, right? You know what I mean? Not to be like quoting scripture, but like, Allah said He made us out of the most perfect of molds, right? Never one like you. So in that aspect, yeah, you're very successful. Monetarily, am I successful? No. No. I'm okay. Do I want a little bit more? Who doesn't?
How do you define wealth?
I don't. See, I look at the luxury of having a body that works every day. That's my main focus, right? Like that's my main focus. Staving off these gray hairs as long as I can. You know what I mean? Staying away from the Just for Men bottle as long as I possibly can.
Right.
Still be able to do a split. Still be able to do 20 pull-ups. Still be able to do 100 push-ups. Yeah. Right? You know what I mean? Those are my metrics, right? Can I still run a 6-minute mile? That's wealth to me. Yeah. Right? I know that's but I'm fortunate because I know not everybody's in that physical ability.
Right. Definitely.
But we have other things. You know what I mean? Some people have health impairments, right? You know what I mean? Like that's wealth to me.
Yeah.
Mobility.
Yeah.
Comfort.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I'm learning to be happy. I'm learning to accept myself. Those things right there. So I look at the abundance of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala gives us the ability to start new every day. So
This project that you sent me sounds like a step in that direction.
Absolutely.
Sounds like a stage of your life right now. I can hear it.
yeah, I'm accepting of more things, and I just had a conversation with my friend, with a friend of mine today. It's just like, yo, this is our 40s,
Yeah.
right? We're not living the 40s that our parents lived, so we get to redefine this.
You're 40 now?
Yeah, I'll be 41 in September, inshallah. Like, so I'm experiencing it. Like, I had a midlife crisis when I hit 30. I fucking panicked, bruv. 40, I was like, alhamdulillah, I made it to level 40. I got friends that's been dead longer than they've been alive. So in that aspect, yeah, I'm successful.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I got. Here's the thing, one of my brothers that went in penitentiary, 2001. He just got out this summer. Nigga did 25 years, right? Nigga did 25 years. I ain't seen the nigga in 25 years.
Yeah.
Just seen him this summer, right? Now we get into now we talk about, are they successful? What's success to them?
Right.
These are conversations, like, that's why success is so subjective, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, so, you know, like my brother Salim did 27 for a murder he didn't do.
Yeah.
Spent 16 years in solitary. That nigga speaking at the UN right now. Speaking at Geneva.
Wow.
You know what I mean? So, like, success is subjective, man. You know what I mean?
I get it.
Like, I would just be getting out of jail this year.
Yeah.
If God had other plans, I'd just be getting out of prison.
So I like to define success as looking through other people's eyes.
Yeah.
Where, like, my perspective of you, all the way up to now, of course, of, you know, everything, my research specifically for this interview, but even what I knew of you before then. And then after this conversation, the first thing that rings in my mind is, I guess what your dad said, like, that, you know, the white man can take everything from you other than your knowledge, what you know. And just this conversation in general is just a wealth of knowledge, right and left, bro.
Yeah, thank you.
And it's you're welcome. It's
I appreciate you giving me the opportunity to talk. Yeah. 'Cause we never talked like this before.
Yeah, never.
Yeah. So yeah.
It's dope, and it like me, I don't look at myself like I'm a scholar or anything, but I publicly will claim 100% I'm a nerd.
Yeah.
I'm curious. I love to learn.
Always be a student.
Exactly.
Always be learning. Yeah.
To hear you talk, hear you explain things, it's almost like, bro, what you doing tomorrow? Like, you know what I mean? Like, yo, let's grab lunch. Like, I want the conversation to keep going.
You have to come to the city. Definitely got to come to mine, bro, because I can't make this trek one time. Man, I gotta get an oil change after this drive. No, I'm lying. Like, yo, I'm the dead ass. My maintenance light came on. I was like, yo, you need an oil change. Yeah, as I came out this far. Yeah. So yeah. I got to take. Yeah, I got hit.
That's a dramatic Drake shit.
No, we can go outside. I'll take you to the Lexus right now. Like, yo, the light came on. It's like, yeah, your warning lamp came on. Yeah, bro. I was like, yeah.
That's wild.
Yeah.
But yeah, I say all that to say, from my perspective, you are successful, and I don't know, you know.
I appreciate you. Yeah. I mean, I'm sure, like, you know, large up my brother Jasiri. You know, I love Jasiri because he put me in a position I'm in today. Wouldn't be able to do any of this without Jasiri.
Yeah.
His vision and his faith in me rivaled some of my romantic partners. Pause. He just seen something in me a lot of other people didn't. You know what I mean? And Jasiri is very much someone. He's like, Jasiri will gladly walk you to the best door in a room. He can't force you to walk through it.
Right.
But he will take you there.
Right.
And just leave it up to you. So everything that I have in this point, Jasiri will argue otherwise, but I attribute a lot of that to him.
Wow.
So like people see like a lot of the things that one hood does and, you know, all the places I go and, you know, all of that's from one hood.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, do I have a blast? Yeah, I have a blast. I have a blast when I can. You know what I mean? We don't want to be a sad bitch every day.
Yeah.
You know, but like, alhamdulillah, like, you know, my brother Jasiri has done a lot of things and has done nothing but right by me over the last 20 years. Yeah. You know what I mean? Like, that's why that's my brother. Yeah. You know what I mean? So, yeah, he's if you think I'm successful, then tell him that.
I'll take that. I'll take that.
Yeah.
At the same time, I feel like definitely you deserve your flowers too.
I appreciate
don't know
you.
if that's a pause moment or whatever.
No. Flowers is cool. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So yeah, you definitely you deserve your flowers too as a man, a grown man that teaches, that helps people.
Oh, thank you, man.
That knowledgeable and continue your quest for knowledge in life. Art, just to hear you talk about your project that you're working on and how you came up with it and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Like, it gives me an energy of, this is how we want our children to grow up. We want
Oh
them
man,
to be
thank you,
curious.
bro. Yo, really, truly, that was very good of you. Thank you. Yeah.
Without the toxic shit that led up to the project.
Yeah, of course. Yeah. You got daughters, bruv. You don't. Yeah, you don't want your daughter to have to meet a nigga like me ever.
Right.
For me to fumble her and then like, yeah, you know what I mean? Like, yeah. You don't never want your daughter to be the experiment. You want her to be cherished, right? Everybody wants that. Yeah, and you don't want your son out here fucking with someone else's daughter, right?
Exactly.
That's the thing, right? That's the reality we got. Yeah.
But in all of that, yeah, absolutely successful, and I wish you the best.
Man, thank you so much. I really and truly appreciate you, man.
Yeah,
man, brother.
I truly appreciate you.
Yeah, absolutely, man. Yeah, this is fantastic.
Yeah, this is a pleasure.
Part 2 soon, inshallah.
Definitely.
Yeah.
Part 2. But you know what it is? It's the Play Cousin Said. I'm Kalaj Dame. See you next time.
Late nights, real talks, turn the noise down. Welcome to Kalaj Dame. City lights, long days, heavy on the mind. Everybody talking, but they never take the time. Truth in my chest, I don't sugarcoat pain. If you sitting at the table, you gotta show your face. Conversations deeper than the surface, we've been shown. Ain't here to sell a dream, just to show you what I know. Every voice matters, every story got a way. If you living it for real, you gon' feel this pain. No scripts, no frames, just heart and time. If you listen close, you might change your mind. We don't argue just to win debates. We just shine a light where they hide the grave. It's the Kalaj Dame podcast, where the real don't gotta broadcast. Every truth gotta pass, every voice got a lane. It's the Kalaj Dame podcast. Pull a seat, let the walls crack. If you ever felt unseen, you gon' feel your name. Yeah. From the block to the boardroom, same questions asked. Why we build so fast, we never heal the past. I don't play judge, I don't play role. I just let you talk while the story unfolds. Bridging gaps, they pretend they there. Men and women trying to meet halfway, no filter, but respect stay intact. If it hit too close, that's